Baba Shu, the correctional officer, born in Accra, Ghana, a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion, who does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran on platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok since 2018. In Finland, and 13 years, QBE, in Classical Arabic and MSA in Quranic Arabic. The author of the Refer to the Quran, which helps every novice to understand the steps towards understanding the great Quran and the guidance of God in it.
Time to rise and meet the challenge. Baba Shuaib is calling you out. Meet Baba Shuaib, a correctional officer with a mission. Today he's throwing down the gauntlet to the mushriks, no more holding back. With his logo shirt and cap, Baba Shuaib sits tall and confident. He says, the time for action is now. It's time to rise, to push past limits, and to become the best versions of ourselves. Baba Shuaib believes in the power of determination and resilience. His challenge is simple. Stand up, face your fears, and conquer them. Every day is a new opportunity, he says. An opportunity to grow stronger, to be better, and to leave a mark on the world. So, are you ready to accept Baba Shuaib's challenge? Are you ready to rise above and beyond? Join Baba Shuaib and let's show the world what we're made of, because the only limit is the one you set for yourself.
Are you a defensive listener? Like, are your ears tuned for offense? I've emphasized the importance of how the character of a messenger and their delivery can shape the outcome of a conversation. But fairness demands that we look at the other side too, and that's the role of the listener. That while many conversations falter due to careless communicators, misinterpretation can distort an intended meaning just as much as miscommunication does. Defensive listening occurs when someone perceives a comment as an attack even when no harm was delivered. In some cases, a speaker can communicate masterfully and without error, but the listener internalizes the message through a lens of offense for one reason or another. Now, research tells us that we listen at about 25% efficiency. And when you factor in unresolved personal conflict or we project our own adverse life experiences onto a communicator, our ability to hear them diminishes exponentially. Not because the speaker failed, but because we as listeners can warp the message too. Now, it's far easier to blame someone else for mishandling their words than it is to acknowledge when we've mishandled their message. So hear me, listening isn't passive, it is an active responsibility. It requires us to confront our biases and examine our insecurities in order to approach conversations with an openness and a dose of humble vulnerability. So don't be so ready to criticize a messenger's ability to speak without addressing the listener's responsibility to listen.
Yeah, peace to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, I'm streaming live from Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Thank you all for coming. Yes, MFG, I see you. I see those on TikTok, the propagator, Truth Unchained. I see you, sister. Peace to you. So I'm streaming live from Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok simultaneously. Kindly share so other people can join. This is another week, another middle of the week, which is Wednesday into Thursday, because in Finland, when I start at night, it's almost midnight. So the moment I start, it goes into it goes into the next day. So I know some of you will still be in Wednesday whilst I'm doing the program. So sometimes I have to stay till dawn time before I end the program. So thank you all for coming. I appreciate your presence. I give some shout outs to all those who are on Facebook and YouTube. Let's start with the Real Mishizi Sniper. Yeah, we have the Real Mishizi Sniper. We have Sister Khadija. Yes, Mom, I see you. Peace to you. Hopefully you should be getting the copy of the Quran soon, and also as well as Dr. Omar also. So my elder Sadi Rad, I see you. Salam to you. I see Mehdi Muhmi. I see you, Halal Ahmed. Kareem, Jonathan, Adam, Mohammed, is it QRTQ123? Mohammed Irshad, salam to you. Irish Rose, Tariq Ayub, Amazi GH, Timothy Joan, Dawan Sharif, Marshall De Grey, Mohammed Nurullah, Sister Jia, Sister Jan, I see you. Bimbaz Barsalim, salam to you. Jibril, and then I have Abdullah Shakun. Aha. The noise on TikTok is too much, right? Let me see. I think, do I need to fix the sound? Maybe. Yeah. It has to do with the fan. Okay, let me see what I can do here. Take this one down and take this one down. Okay, let's see this. I think it may be probably because I'm running a lot of programs at the back, so it's having the sound. Okay, let's see this one off. Yeah. Yes, just a second. Yeah, peace, Nur Melanie. Just a second, guys. I just need to do something here. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's see what happens. I don't want to take too much time. Yeah, I do have a funny video to play. Before I go into the lecture for today itself, but let me finish with the shout out first. I have Abdullah Shakun, I have Sami. Yeah, we have Sami, we have Yusuf Jami, we have Mo, we have Obre wa Umar, Abu Thomas, Bibi is it Narifa Sataur? Yes, I see you, sister. Salam to you. I know Umar Sataur will be here also. Maggie, thank you for the super chats. God bless you. My sister Eram, I see you. Salam to you. I see Adnan 34. I see Adam Muhammad, Lamin Toure, Muhammad Ashari, Rahim, Umar Jan. Is it Umar Khan or Umar Jan? I see Pacman, Farah, Ziabat. I see Riyadh. Riyadh, is it Langaveld? I don't know. Did I pronounce it well? Is it Langaveld? Aha. Shohel Sheikh Joshim Atif Rahman. I see my elder Alhaji Hatal Mahmoud. Salam to you. I see Isa ibn Yahya. Okay, Karim. Yeah. Then we have Truth Unchained. Yes, exactly. You see it's, yes, Georgia Anagnostopoulou. I see you. Salam to you. Salam Gugu. Nuruddin Abubakar, Raven 10, Adam Muhammad. We have Yusuf Osayi, Sadiq Ali Sheran, Abdul Warith Olawali, Abida, Abida Bajauri. Then we have Sister Nina Van Dijk. We have Baba Saidu. Hey, my brother Baba Saidu, salam to you. Yes, salam. Salam to you, Sadiq Ali Sharan. Yeah, thank you all for coming. This is for those on Facebook and YouTube watching live right now. And my greetings to all those on TikTok as well. Let me see. We have about 30 people watching right now. So it will be nice to just share so other people can join. So for all those who are on TikTok now, I see Zahara Zen. Salam to you. I see Nur Melanie, thank you for the gifts. Propagator, thank you for the gifts. I see Selma, is it Selma 77? Salam to you. Rachel Green, I see you. Peace, brother. No worries. Yes, you can be listening. I know you join in soon, inshallah. So guys, kindly give the taps so that the program, the algorithms can just put it up there for people to join the stream to make it popular. Just tap the likes. The fake Mahdi seems to be spreading far and wide. Israel agent, yes. I would say Illuminati or Freemason. Let me see. Nur Melanie says, Baba, you are turning white. No, it is the light. The lightning is too much. So it's bringing, if you watch me on YouTube and Facebook, the lightning is normal. But the lightning for the phone itself I'm using today and the lightning is too much. So like it just made me a white man instead of a black man. So we have is it Sapix Gold? We have we have is it Haitham? Is it Haitham? Haitham, I will only be answering questions from TikTok when I'm done with the stream and I'm coming to TikTok. Yes, if you are here at that time, maybe after 2 hours, then you can ask me this question, right? But this beginning is not for question and answer yet. We have, let me see. Yeah, Safik from Malaysia. Yeah, I see my brother Haruna from Finland. Thank you for the gifts. I see my elder Zaid. Salam. I see, is it Truth? Salam to you. I see Yusuf Umar Imam. Salam to you, brother. We have submitted to Allah. Yes, I see you. I remind of Allah so you can find pieces when it's Hajj. Oh. Yeah, so guys, that's about it. Thank you all for being present, and thank you for your participation. I appreciate the support. God bless you all. Peace to all those who are joining now. I didn't see my Silas Jimmy. I know he might join. I didn't see some of the people here, but I know you all join later. I see Michael. I see all 19. I see Noura Abdulaziz, Abubakar Bangura, Muhammad Lamin Diawara, and Lamin Toure. I see all of you. Thank you all for coming, and I appreciate the support, right? Okay, so as usual, I'm going to play a particular video before we go into Muammar Gaddafi's video. Gaddafi's video is a very, very interesting, and it's a controversial one at the same time. And I want to play the video to show you one of the reasons why the scholars of the Sunni scholars and so on became quiet on why Gaddafi was attacked. If you remember clearly, when Gaddafi was killed, or during the time he's being tortured in order to be killed, you can hear his people shouting, Allahu Akbar, Allah, because to them he's a kafir. Just as the Sunni scholars classify Quran alone followers as kafirs, it was that concept they were holding against Gaddafi. The scholars were giving fatwa against Gaddafi. They hated Gaddafi. And I'm not joking about this. I'll be playing the video. You will see the reasons why the scholars of the Sunni or the Sunni so-called Islamic countries who are Sunnis were fully against Gaddafi because he was propagating the notion of the Quran alone. You understand? He even went ahead to tell them that these hadith books are nonsense. Yes, he went ahead to tell them that. And they know this very well, right? So I'll be playing the videos to show you. But before we go to anything, before we, on a more serious note, before we delve into today's topic, I'm going to show you what Asim Al-Hakim has to say. So, we cannot do without this guy, Asim Al-Hakim. He's our favorite comedian. So we need Asim Al-Hakim to open the floorgate for us. We just need to hear what Asim Al-Hakim has to offer first, and then we move on to the main topic. But again, I'll be discussing Muhammad Hijab because I saw 2 videos from him, interesting videos. One is about he's playing music in the background, and then the other one is about killing apostates. I hope TikTok doesn't do anything to me. I'm just repeating what Mohammed Hibijibis said, right? So anyways, so let's start with Asim Al-Hakim's video, right? It's an interesting video and a funny video at the same time. So I guess this is where we will need Akroba to come in between a bit before we move on with the topic. So check what Asim has to say.
Once, and I was half in the shade and half in the sun. So my teacher told me that I shouldn't do that. When I asked for the reason, he said, because this is where shaitan sits. So he's asking me, can you elaborate? Yeah, I can easily elaborate. This is what the Prophet told us, alayhi salatu wasalam. There are so many things, Yahya, that we believe without understanding. Because this is part of our religion. Allah described us in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah that we believe in the unseen. So if I were to tell you that, Akhi, here is a mine gold. You said, wait, I can't see anything. You will not believe me. But when Allah tells us that there are angels around us, there are jinn around us, there is heaven and hell with so many things in them, there is torment in the grave, we say, we believe. People say, believe in what? Are you crazy? Can you see anything? No, but I can believe and relate because I believe in the Quran. I believe in Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, our messenger, and I believe in the existence of Allah. So anything else is by default. Therefore, when we wake up, we sniff water up our nostrils 3 times and blow it out. Why? The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Did you see that? No, but you believe it and do it. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their ears. Have you felt the urine? So no, I haven't seen Satan to feel his urine. Likewise, when you wear one pair of shoes and walk barefooted with the other foot, this is the way that shaitan walks. I haven't seen the shaitan, but the Prophet told me this and I believe in it. This is the dividing line between believers and disbelievers. So we believe when the Prophet tells us, do not sit in the middle of the shade where half of you is in shade and the other is the sun, because this is where shaitan sits. We say, sami'na wa ata'na. We hear and adhere and obey, because this is what the Prophet told us.
To be honest, whose husband is this? Seriously. Whose husband is that, this guy? I drink beer. Like, what nonsense is this? Seriously. What nonsense is this? Guys, it's mind boggling the way the brains of the mushriks operates. It's like it's kaput on autopilot. The brain is kaput on autopilot. You know how that feels when something is on autopilot, but it's kaput, is damaged? Have you ever seen a machine operating and all of a sudden the machine goes, it malfunctions, but it keeps operating, like it keeps going. That is how the brain of the mushriks work. I'm not joking. Wallahi, wallahi. Look, let's reassess. Let's reassess the nonsense he was talking about. Now check the nonsense here. Let's reassess the nonsense.
I was sitting once and I was half in the shade and half in the sun.
So somebody was asking a question that the person was sitting once half in the shade and half in the sun, right?
So my teacher told me that I shouldn't do that. When I asked for the reason, he said, because this is where shaitan sits.
So his teacher told him he shouldn't do that. You know, their teachers, you know, in the Sunni teachers and so on, the Shia teachers and so. I don't know if Shias believe in this nonsense also, but these Sunni scholars, yes, that's the teachers, the muallims and so on. So now this teacher was telling the person not to sit like that, sitting half in the shade and half in the sun. What is this? Half inch. Hey, okay. I need my brain because I have an important topic later. Ask him, please. Let's go forward.
So he's asking me, can you elaborate? Yeah, I can easily elaborate.
So this same guy who said he's not a scholar, he is now going to elaborate what was being asked. And remember, this guy charges over $100 for consultation, for half an hour consultation. I think now he's charging $150, right? Imagine taking consultation from this bozo. This bozo. You are going to consult him to get what? Okay, by the way, he said he's not a scholar. This is what he said. Listen.
Akhi, when I talk about Islamic issues, I don't talk from my own self. I'm not a scholar. I don't come up and say, yeah, I think this is halal, this is haram.
You understand? So he says when he talks about Islamic issues, he is not a scholar. He doesn't just come up and say this is halal, this is haram. So why are you even paying this bozo for him to enlighten you about Islam when he is telling you he's not a scholar? He is not a scholar. But you are still paying him because you are shippo. You want to consult with this bozo. Anyways, let's go. He's going to tell you what the devil does. And this statement he's going to say, none of it comes from the Quran, but they are garbage books. None of it comes from the Quran, but the garbage books. You know the garbage books? Those garbage books. You know that. If you don't know, you tell me, I will show you. Those garbage books. So let's continue.
This is what the Prophet told us, alayhi salatu wasalam.
So to them, whatever nonsense they find from the garbage books, they attribute it to the Prophet. Then they say, this is what the Prophet told them. So even if it is, come, let me cut off your head. Yes, they say the Prophet said it. According to this same bozos, they said, whoever changes his religion, you have to take his life away. Man baddala dinahu faqtuluhu. Yes, Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. They are telling you whoever changes his religion, you have to end the person. Can you imagine this nonsense coming from this garbage book? I dare any mushrik on earth come and show me in the Quran where God says if somebody changes his religion, you should end the person's life. Come and show me. Come and show me. You the mushriks, the Sunnis, especially you the Sunnis. There's no bigger mushrik on earth than the Sunnis. Look, not even the Christians can come closer to the Sunnis when it comes to shirk. Wallahi, because they said the heavens and the earth was created because of Prophet Muhammad. They said Prophet Muhammad is the light of God. They said if not because of Prophet Muhammad, God would never create the heavens and the earth. Tell me if there's no mushrik more than this. They said Prophet Muhammad is the best of creation. They said Prophet Muhammad is the most handsome man on earth. They said Prophet Muhammad is, hey, mushrik was why? Hey. Why? I'm serious. Look, I'm not joking. Wallahi, wallahi, the Sunnis, they worship the Prophet. Wallahi, they worship the Prophet day and night. Look, when the Sunnis gather, they have to say Salatu ala Nabi. They have to send blessings upon the Prophet. Look at the foolishness. You and the Prophet, who need blessings? No, you and the Prophet. Who deserve to send blessings on the other? The Prophet is already a blessed, honorable man that God has already approved. You are sitting with your foolishness, saying you are sending blessings. And you ask them, why do you send blessings? They say, because we are voting for him, so that on the day of judgment, he can intercede for us. Look at this madness. Because some garbage book of some Persian who never met the Prophet, he wrote this garbage trash news. You took it upon yourself. You said that is part of Islam. If you're okay in your head, will you take that book as guidance? Anyways, let's go. Asim Al-Hakim is giving us more info. So let's continue.
There are so many things, Yahya, that we believe without understanding.
Look at the foolishness again. There are so many things you believe without understanding. That's foolishness. I'm serious. God says in the Quran, chapter 17, verse 36, وَلَا تَخْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. Right? You have the foolish mushriks who are telling you that there are certain things they believe without understanding. You can understand something, but you just don't need to experience it. Baba Shuaib, I can tell you I have 1 million in my pocket. You might understand what I'm saying, right? But you just don't need to see the 1 million to believe I have it. Are you getting my point? So in Islam, God wants us to use our cognitive, reasoning to understand certain things he tells us. That's why he uses the word afala ta'kilun, afala tubsirun, afala tatafakkarun. Are you getting my point? This is why God keeps asking, will you not reason? Because he wants you to reason. Will you then not reflect? He wants you to reflect. Will you then not ponder? Because he wants you to ponder. Will you then not see? Because he wants you to see. But you have foolish mushriks who will keep telling you, you don't just need to understand, you just need to believe because you are shipu. So when you are told the Prophet married 6 years old girl, yeah, just believe. Okay, just believe. Don't question, okay? Because it's coming from the garbage books, even though they say if they find one lie from you, you are going to hell. According to their own garbage books, listen carefully. Sahih Muslim 3004. Right? Sahih Muslim 3004. Where the Prophet, according to their own hadith, is saying, La taktubu anni. وَمَنْ كَتَبَ أَنِّي غَيْرَ الْقُرْآنِ فَلْيَمْهُهُ وَحَدِّثُ أَنِّي. Then when you read the hadith till the end, he is saying that whoever lies about him should find his seat in hell. This is what the hadith says. You search it for yourself. 3004, Sahih Muslim. Then he says, whoever tells a lie about him, the Prophet, should find his seat in the hellfire. Now, if you ask them, Sahih Bukhari, this Sahih Bukhari garbage book, ask them, do they have lies in them? They will affirmatively tell you yes. The Sahih Bukhari books has lies inside. Even most of their scholars reject the lies. So if that book has lies, which means Imam Bukhari told lie about the Prophet, but here you are, these comedians will now take some of the hadith books that they agree with. For instance, the breastfeeding of adults, we don't see their wives doing that. Because please, if any of the scholars' wife can breastfeed adults, please send me an email, let me know. Maybe the one my mom gave me wasn't enough. Then I can go and join the queue. So according to them, Sahih al-Bukhari, it says the Prophet is telling an adult woman to breastfeed somebody called Salim. Breastfeed an adult, even though he's an adult, so he needs breastfeeding. So I don't know what it is for. Anyways, you ask the mushriks. They said there is Sahih. It is in their book. I don't know which verse that particular hadith is explaining. But yes, breastfeeding of an adult is halal. According to them, they say we have to follow the sunnah of the prophet. Yet they say in their books that he married a CCSO girl. We don't see any of their scholars coming forward to marry CCSO girl. Neither are they allowing their CCSO girls to be married. Try that with any scholar and see how he will chase you with a gun. I'm not joking. You go to any scholar, you say, I saw some apple in your house, he's CCS, I want to come up. You see what the scholar will do to you. I'm serious. But they will happily attribute it to the honorable man. Hey, Sunni mushriks, eh? Guys, for those who have the Dark Hadith book I sent, the Dark Hadith PDF, check it for yourself. Go to sunnah.com, check the references for yourself, and investigate if you think I'm lying. Everything is there. They insult the prophet day in, day out. And that is the book, the same book they say you cannot be guided without that garbage book. When God says the Quran is enough. Quran chapter 2 verse 2. The book of God is enough. The mushriks will tell you, no, it is not. You are a kafir. They will tell you, yes, I'm a kafir according to your garbage books. We don't follow those garbages. How can I have fresh food like the Quran, buffet, sweet and delicious, buffet? Then I will leave my buffet to go and take your garbage books. Yes, I'm calling it garbage because it's worthless. There's nothing reasonable in that garbage book. The funny part is when people will tell me, oh, I've seen something that makes sense. No. There's nothing sensible more than the Quran in that book. There's nothing sensible. Look, if that is the case, the devil can also say some wise things. Does that mean I should agree with the devil? The answer is no. Read throughout the Quran. There are certain things the devil says. It makes sense. I'm not joking with you. Unless if you don't know the khutwat shaitan. Read the story of Iblis in the Quran. There are certain things Iblis said. It makes sense. But I don't agree with Iblis. No. Because this is where deceiving starts. The moment you have to agree with the deceiver and you say, oh, I can agree with the deceiver here. It makes sense. No. We don't need any garbage. Not even iota of the garbage. Even if it is sensible, we throw it. We give it back to them. So somebody will say, Baba Shu, you are quoting Sahih Muslim 3004. I'm quoting it to them. Doesn't mean I believe the Prophet said that. But I'm quoting it back to the sender. It's just like throwing stone and then it's thrown back to you. That's what I do. I don't use that as my source of guidance. So understand what I do. Let's continue.
Because this is part of our religion.
It is not part of your religion. Quran chapter 5 verse 3, God says, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum nimati wa raditu lakum al-islam dina. God says he has completed the religion for you as Islam at the time of the Prophet Muhammad, not after the Prophet. At the time of Prophet Muhammad, the Islam is complete. So now, if you are bringing some nonsensical statements that cannot be found in the book of God, where is it coming from? Was it part of the completed religion given to Muhammad? If it is yes, we should find it in the Quran. If no, then it cannot be from the Prophet.
Allah described us in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah that we believe in the unseen.
Yes, believing in the unseen doesn't mean you should believe the devil is urinating in your ears. Where did the Quran say this nonsense? That the devil is sitting here, he's sitting on your nostril. Seriously, the devil is an ant or what? How big is the nostrils that the devil, where is he sitting? Hey, mushriks, why? Hey, Allah mushrika. Let's go.
So if I were to tell you that, Akhi, here is a mine gold. You said, wait.
What is mine gold? Gold mine. What is mine gold? Okay, anyway.
I can't see anything. You will not believe me. But when Allah tells us that there are angels around us, there are jinn around us, there is heaven and hell with so many things in them, there is torment in the grave, we say we believe.
Yes, we believe because we can see it. It's written. We can see it it's written in the book of God. Yes, we see it. He's telling us these things. Yes, we believe. But the things you are going to say now, we don't find it in the book of God. So listen carefully what Asim is going to tell us, whether we can find any of those statements in the book of God.
People say, believe in what? Are you crazy? Can you see anything? No, but I can believe and relate because I believe in the Quran. I believe in Muhammad.
So you see, from I believe in the Quran, then they jump and say, I believe in the Prophet, even though the Hadith books they follow, they have da'if, and they reject most of them. They reject most of the Hadiths. You heard Muhammad Hijab last time I played the video. He says they are the biggest Hadith rejected, the Sunnis. Yes. They are the biggest Hadith rejectors themselves. They reject a lot of Hadith, even though it is Sahih. Yes, they will change. They tell you, oh, the isnad. This one is not a mutawatir. This one, the isnad is only one person. No, the chain of narration. No. We reject this one. What? Okay. Let's continue.
Our messenger, and I believe in the existence of Allah.
You believe in the existence of Allah. God is not a creation. For you to say you believe in the existence of God, He's not a creation. Everything else exists. God is there. The moment somebody is telling you God exists, it is like somebody has to put God there for Him to exist. You understand? God is beyond that. So everything that comes in the scope under God is what we call the existence. Right? God does not have a beginning and He doesn't have an end. So don't include Him into the existence. It is the creation which exists. So we can say the angels exist, the messengers exist, that this and that exists. We don't say God exists. You are giving the atheists the chance to disprove you when you say God exists. It becomes an existence. Then they will ask you, where is God? Where is the location? You can't phantom that. You understand? That is why Quran chapter 57 verse 4 tells you God is everywhere. Somebody asked me the last time, is God in the heavens? Yes, He's there. Use your common sense. He says He's everywhere. Why can't He be in the heaven? Hello? Somebody say, is God in the sea? Are you nuts? He said He's everywhere. What is wrong with the human brain? You think God is human? So when we say Baba Shu is in Finland, can He be in USA? I'm a human being, that's why I have a physical body. But God is everywhere. He has answered you already. So if we say God is in the heavens, still is valid. There's nothing contradictory about that statement. God can be there and be here at the same time. You understand? Your brain cannot just fathom how will I say the wonder of God. That is how it is.
So anything else is by default. Therefore, when we wake up, we sniff water up our nostrils 3 times and blow it out. Why? The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps.
Do you see how they lie? We're using the Prophet's name. They say when they wake up, they put water in the nostril 3 times. Why? He says it's because the Prophet said the devil sleeps. Hey, the devil. What? Listen.
Over our nostrils.
The devil is sleeping over. Guys, the nostril, there's this kind of hair in the nostril. I don't know. I've trimmed mine already. So I don't know where the devil is going to sit. Hey. Allah Mushrikenga. They are kaputo in the head. Seriously. Factory reset. Hey. So he says the devil, because this is the same foolish people who tell you to go and stone the devil in Saudi Arabia. Look at the foolishness. The same foolish people. They will tell you go to Saudi Arabia to stone the devil after paying 5,000 or 10,000 euros. You say you are going to the Saudi Arabia to stone the devil. Do you think the devil will leave Donald Trump in the United States and go and sit in Saudi Arabia because he doesn't have GPS? So now he said the devil now. So guys, if you want to stone the devil, don't forget to start from here. the Sunnis especially. If you want to stone the devil, don't pay for any ticket and go to Saudi Arabia. You are wasting your time. Because according to your Sunni garbage books, it says the devil is sleeping somewhere. Hey, please, why can't people use their brains? For God's sake. Hey. And what baffles me is a lot of these people, they have degrees and whatever, PhDs. PhD what? Hey. So the devil is sleeping in our nostrils, and we are paying ticket to go and store him in Saudi Arabia. When all you can do is just what do you call nose what? I don't know. What are you going to use? Is it nose pick or nose? Hey, Allah. And this is supposed to make sense to them. Okay, let's continue.
Do you see that? No, but you believe it and do it.
I don't believe in that nonsense. It's not coming from the book. Why will even God tell you the devil is in the nostrils? Do you what there? So the devil doesn't have any job to do than to be in your nostrils. Hey! By the way, hey! So the devil is in the nostrils. Iblis, right? How many Iblis do we have, by the way? Because I thought we only have one Iblis. This Iblis is one. So he's in the nostrils of how many? The Sunnis, how many are they? Is it 1 billion or 2 billion? So the devil is going to be in the nostril of 2 billion Sunnis because they believe it. Let's go.
Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their ear.
So apart from being in your nostril, the devil is going to urinate. I don't know why people's ears are not wet. And like it's urinating in the ear. Hey. So apart from the devil being here, he's going to move and be here. Hey. Hey. Oh my God. Hey. So the devil will pee in your ear. Please, what color is the pee? Because human beings, we have different colors. We have the white, we have green, we have yellow, we have brown, and so on, depending on how sick you are, right? So we have nose infection, ear infection, and let's go.
Have you felt the urine? So no, I haven't seen Satan to feel his urine. Likewise, when you wear one pair of shoes and walk barefooted with the other foot, this is the...
Now, who does that? Why will you wear one pair of shoe on one leg and you walk barefooted with why? Now, who does that? The last time I checked, only mad people do that. But why will somebody wear one shoe and one barefoot? And they say that's how the devil does. Look.
Way that Shaitan walks.
They said that's how the devil walks. So the devil wears one shoe. I want to know if the shoe is Nike or Adidas. I don't know. So the shoe that the devil wears. And these people are being taken seriously, to be honest. To be honest, our fathers, our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, our children, they believe in these comedians.
I haven't seen the Shaitan, but the Prophet told me this and I believe in it.
The Prophet told you this. You, Asim Alakim, did he meet you to tell you this nonsense? You just read from some garbage books and you attributed it to this honorable man. And you said the Prophet told you this. Are you nuts? Where did the Prophet tell you this nonsense? And this is the thing, you charge people $150 for 30 minutes consultation. This thing. You call these scholars. This is somebody who drinks beer. This man, he drinks beer. Wallahi, wallahi, I'm not joking. Because he says the beer is from Saudi Arabia. Listen to him. Listen.
I drink beer, and I'm proud of that. But the beer I drink, before you quote me for that, is from Saudi Arabia, and it has like 2%, maybe 3% alcohol. And it's legal, and it's halal. One says, oh, it has alcohol. Akhi, if I drink half a pack, nothing happens. I drink beer, and I'm proud of that.
So this same sheikh, he drinks beer. I mean, he's a Sunni, by the way. He's a Salaf. Allah dua, Allah mushrikeen. Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is the dividing line between believers and disbelievers.
No, God did not call anybody to become a foolish believer. Wallahi, you can be only a foolish believer if you are a sectarian. I'm not joking. Read Quran chapter 2 verse 130. God says, "Woman yargabu am millata Ibrahim illa man safiha nafsahu." God says, who will desire other than the creed of Abraham, if not one who fools himself? Anybody you see calling himself a sectarian is the fool. I'm not joking with you. Anybody you see himself attributing himself to be part of the sectarians is a big fool. I'm not saying it. God said it. وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ. Who will desire other than the creed of Abraham? Listen carefully. If not one who fools himself. So anybody you see attributing himself to be a sectarian is a fool. I'm serious. So don't expect any sound judgment from such a person. You, from head to toe, you are looking at like at a foolish person. I'm not insulting anybody. I'm just telling you what the Quran says. I'm not joking with you. When I look at any sectarian, by default, I see them as kaput in the head. I don't see any sectarian sound. Of course, let me consider Farid response here. Farid response, yes, I see him as a sound person. But don't be surprised in the future, Farid just abandoned the mushriks and starts following the book of God. Right? Anyways, this is Asim Halakim, and this is how he ends the video. Let's see how he ended.
So we believe when the Prophet tells us, do not sit in the middle of the shade where half of you is in shade and the other is the sun, because this is where shaitan sits. We say, Sami'na wa ata'na.
That is foolishness. Why did God say in the Quran, Yas'alunaka anil kaza wal kaza, Yas'alunaka anis sa'at, Yas'alunaka maza yunfiku, Yas'alunaka this. Because the Prophet is being asked questions. The messenger is supposed to be asked questions so that he can answer them. The Sami'na wa ata'na doesn't work like that. It is when God says something, then Sami'na wa ata'na, you don't argue with God. But when the messenger or the prophet says something, you can ask for inquiry. You can ask a question just to have clarity. So that is why God keeps telling us, Yas'alunaka anis sa'at, Yas'alunaka maza yunfiku, Yas'alunaka anir ruhu. Then God will tell him, Qul, because it's a question expected. You call yourself a sectarian, wallahi, you are kaput in the head. There is nothing sensible coming from you. I'm not joking with you. The moment you call yourself a sectarian, wallahi, wallahi, you look at the Shiites, look at the Shia people, look what they do to themselves with knives and how can you even fight with such a person? A person who can first of all slice himself with a knife, and you want to fight with this person? It's a losing match. I'm serious. That is the power of hadith books or these garbage books. I'm serious. So stay away from these sectarians, the Sunnis, the Shia. Wallahi, if you want a better life, stay away from them. I'm not joking with you.
We hear and adhere and obey, because this is what the Prophet told us, and Allah knows best.
And Allah knows best. Again, they will end up by saying, and Allah knows best. And yet, if you tell them what the Quran says, they say, no, akhi, no, the Quran is not final. You need to follow the words of the Prophet, which is the hadith. So the hadith hadith knows best. Quran doesn't know best, according to the mushriks. even though every day they say Allah knows best. So beware of these mushriks around you. Okay, so away with the Asim Halakim. I don't know why I spend more time on him, because the program wasn't based on him. It was supposed to be based on about Gaddafi. By the way, listen to Muhammad Hijab. Let's go to Muhammad Hijab. Listen to this video. I want you to pay attention to this video carefully. Muhammad Hijab was using one of the type of songs or music I use in my background videos. This is a recent video Muhammad Hijab put on his YouTube channel. If Baba Shu is putting music, the foolish mushriks, especially the Sunnis out there, will be saying Baba Shu is a kafir. Look, he's playing music at the back of his videos, right? Now look at Muhammad Hijab.
Islam startled the minds of the historians. They couldn't believe this. I was reading a book called A Brief History of the World by Gombrich, who is an Orientalist. And in that book, he stated, when he talked about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and Islam, that is the most incredible thing he will write about. He said that if Islam had spread more through Spain, we would be speaking Arabic today. He said this, and he was an English Orientalist writer. It boggles the mind of the people how a man with such small means can achieve so much in so many different spheres. I would say that this itself is a miracle of Islam, and in fact it's mentioned in the Quran that it is a proof and evidence. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة. So what's the bayinah here? It says that the people of the Jews and the Christians were in dispute until the clear evidence came to them. What was the clear evidence? Rasul min Allah. If you want to prove Islam is true, look at the Prophet's character sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Even if you are not a Muslim, looking at the seerah of the Prophet, even if you didn't want to be a Muslim, you wanted to remain as an atheist or as a Christian, if you read the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad, you should still follow it. It would make sense for you to follow it, because it is the greatest template for success, even on a material level, which is why
guys, you heard Muhammad Hibijibis speaking. Did you hear the sound background? This time it's not Nasheed. Maybe they heard Baba Shu talking against the Nasheed, so he didn't use a Nasheed. Right? You know, the mushriks, whenever they are saying something, they will use Nasheed. Right? Have you noticed that? So Baba Shu I have been castigating them very much. Now Muhammad Hijab has to copy my style. So he's making a video and putting, they call it the dunya music. He's putting the dunya music behind him. You know, normally I put the soundtracks, the movie theme, the soundtracks type of instrumentals behind my videos, just to make it catchy, just to make it entertaining to watch. The foolish mushriks, you see them in the comment section, always saying, look, this guy is listening to music, he's playing music, this is haram. Oof, 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 oof. This is Muhammad Hijab in his recent video. This is less than a week. He put this video and look at him with the music behind him. Are you getting the hypocrisy? That's the hypocrisy you have there. He is putting music, and this music is made from the US. And this is a movie team, movie type of soundtracks. And he put it behind him, cinematic, we call it cinematic soundtracks. He's using it. By the way, this guy is an actor, by the way. He's been acting movie. And I know some of the Sunnis told him acting movie is even haram. Look, for the Sunnis, everything is haram. Yes. If you want haram religion, that is Sunni religion. Everything is haram. But not to have side chick marriage. Side chick marriage is not haram. According to everything is haram, except the side chick haram. Side chick wife, hotel, side chick marriage. Is that one? Yes, they allow that one. Anyways, let's listen to the next video of this bozo. He has another video. Let's listen to the other video. This video.
this religion, they should be killed in an Islamic state. And you think, wait a minute, doesn't this strongly oppose human rights? And on the face of it, it does strongly oppose human rights. And this is not on the face of it, prima facie, what we believe in anyway. This is a decontextualized understanding of Islamic law. But what's interesting is this: so long as something is justified through a social contract on liberalism, look what John Locke is saying. There can be an apostasy law. He's saying because the state of the Jews is predicated on your contracting with God and your being Jewish in the first instance, that it's justifiable on liberalism. Listen to this carefully. It's justifiable on liberalism. From this social contract understanding, that if someone publicly says, I'm not a Jew anymore, for the state to say, come hold here, come here, we're going to execute you. Now, is that what the Quran says? The Quran doesn't make this kind of articulation, by the way. This is what John Locke says, who is the founding father of liberalism. So how conceivable is it on liberalism that these laws can be put in place? It is fully conceivable in principle. Now, one could argue that was John Locke, that was 300 years ago. We're no longer looking at Locke. My argument is not about John Locke. He is looking at the conceivability through the principles of liberalism. I am saying because the principles of liberalism through social contract allow such possibilities, you cannot argue that liberalism is against a public apostasy law which would entail a death of a person. You cannot argue that. It's impossible to argue that.
Guys, these mushriks, I'm serious, they don't listen to themselves, to be honest. These mushriks, they don't listen to themselves, to be honest. I'm going to go over the video and I'm going to show you the problems with these mushriks that they don't observe over themselves. Now, listen carefully to the video.
The one who changes his religion, they should be killed.
Because that is what their hadith book says. It's Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. Please write it down in the comment section. Anybody, write it down in the comment section. It's Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. This statement Muhammad Hijab just said is found in their hadith books, and it is Sahih. It is Sahih. Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. Yes, somebody wrote it on TikTok. Thank you. Please write it in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube. Please let anybody watching take it, read it. If you have any Sunni family member, ask them, if you change your religion, will they do the same to you? Just ask them. If you change your religion, will they do? So don't be surprised when your family member hates you to the extent they want to finish you. Huh? Look at the foolish mushriks in the comment section. Farouk A is asking me, Baba, you don't believe in the hadith, so why quote it? Foolish mushrik. Don't you quote Bible to the Christians? Do you believe in the entirety of the Bible? But you quote it to them, right? Right? I'm quoting your garbage book back to you to show you the foolishness in your book. I don't need to believe in something to quote it. So this is the same Sahih al-Bukhari. If you are closer to any scholar, it's 3017, not 317. Sahih al-Bukhari 3017, classified as Sahih by their scholars. It says, whoever changes his religion, man baddala dinahu faqtuluhu. Whoever changes his religion, you should end the person's life. Is that what Islam teaches you in the Quran? You don't find this nonsense in the Quran. Please, I exhort anybody listening, if you have any Sunni scholar next to you, any imam in your vicinity, please take this verse, write it down, give it to the scholar, tell them to quote it in the masjid. Tell them, quote it for the people. Tell them to explain it, if it exists. Then you ask the scholar, will you do this thing to any of your family member in case he decides to change his religion from being a Sunni? By the way, this law only applies to Sunnis. It is only applicable to Sunnis. Only Sunnis apply this garbage hadith. Only Sunnis. Because they are the number one boasting to be followers of garbage books. Do you get the point? So ask any Sunni, are you going to implement this verse, this hadith quotation? The moment they start stammering, you know something is wrong, especially those based in the UK. When you see any of the street dawah boys, please, these are the hadith type of references you should be giving them. Give them publicly. Let them read it. Then you ask them the question. If you are given the chance to have an Islamic state in Europe, are you going to implement this nonsense? Please, the moment they are saying yes, don't hesitate to be showing it to the authorities in your country. I'm not joking. You give these mushriks an inch, you regret it. Yes, I know them very well to tell you who they are. You give these mushriks an inch, you are going to regret it. Especially, I'm telling people from UK. Wallahi, be warned of these monsters you are giving chance. Okay. Yes, salam, Shurulini. Salam to you. Greetings to you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Anyways, Muhammad Hijab, let's listen to him. You know the mushrik's darling boy, right? He's their darling boy. Let's listen to what he has to offer.
In an Islamic state, and you
Then he used the word in an Islamic state. I have a video of Muhammad Hijab where he says, yes, they, the Sunnis, are looking for dominance in the UK so that they can build an Islamic state. I'm not joking about this. You look at this kind of people, you think, oh, mashallah, Muslims are coming to Europe. They are not Muslims, oh. They are mushriks. I'm not joking with you. These guys are monsters. You give them an inch. Do you see how they are raping your women in Europe? Yes, because to them you are a kafir, you are an outcast. So they don't regard you as, when they commit that act with you, they don't see it as a sin. You'll be amazed thinking, oh, why are they trying to rape our women? And you think they think it's a sin? No, they don't think it's a sin. I'm serious. Yo, let's continue.
think, wait a minute, doesn't this strong?
Did you feel the sense of his laugh when, after saying that, and he says, wait a minute, did you see the shake in his voice? Guys, did you hear the shake in his voice when he says, wait a minute? Listen to this part.
State, and you think, wait a minute, doesn't this strongly?
You see that wait a minute, that smirk, that laugh that came with it. That is when a person is nervous. Because the statement, he didn't endure on it for a long time. He just skipped on it so that he can pass his point across. But we still catch him. You are going to catch him with the point he's making, right? Salam to you, brother Damage. I see you, brother Peace. Shurilini says, they are Salafis Wahhabis, some of the most pig-headed people I have had the displeasure of encountering. It's obvious. They are. They are. Anyways, let's go ahead. Thank you, Shurilini, for the super chat. Let's go ahead with the video.
Oppose human rights, and on the face of it, it does strongly oppose.
On the face of it, terminating somebody because they exited the Sunni cult, it does opposes human rights and strongly opposes human rights. It goes against human rights. And this person happens to be a Westerner based in the UK, trying to act like a sweet talker. Inshallah, Muhammad Hijab, you'll be exposed one day. Sweet talker. But what baffles me is at the end of this video, the heebie-jeebies he's going to bring at the end by mentioning the Quran. I'm going to show you. Let's go.
Human rights. And this is not on the face of it, prima facie, what we believe in anyway. This is...
Guys, did you hear what he said? He says, this is not on the face of it what we believe in anyway. Wallahi, he's lying. They believe in the hadith. They believe what the hadith says. They believe that hadith tells them to do what it does. Yes, they believe. They just don't have the upper hand in Europe yet. So they don't have the right to be saying that this is what they believe. Are you getting the trick here? Because mushriks are very good at lying. They will be swearing and lying. Because they are still at the subservient level in Europe, they cannot be professing this belief by telling you they believe in the hadith telling them to eliminate people. They will not be telling you that. They will rather be telling you, oh, we don't believe in this. This is not what we believe. This is not what we believe. Wallahi, wallahi, they do believe it. They believe it. That is why when you give countries like Pakistan, countries like northern part of Nigeria, countries like Afghanistan, countries like Iraq, the chance, they will exhibit these kind of things mentioned in the hadith books. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. The evidences are there clearly for everybody to see. Those things the hadith book says, if you give those countries chance, Iraq, you mentioned them. Those type of countries, you mentioned them. They will execute exactly what that garbage book says. But when they are in the Western world, they are just going to be saying, oh, we don't believe that what the hadith says. No. Then you see somebody who says, I'm just a liberal Muslim. I don't believe that, the ISIS. I don't support ISIS. Oh, my guy, they are lying to you. Let them gain dominance in Europe and see for yourself. If you want to know, go to northern part of Nigeria to find out. If you want to know, go to some suburban areas in Pakistan to find out. Go to Afghanistan to find out. Go to, how will I say, Saudi Arabia. Yes, they do exhibit some of the things they found in the hadith. There are a lot of countries like Iraq. They do exhibit these things. It's not a joke. So when you have sweet talkers like Muhammad Hijab standing on the podium and say, this is not what we believe in anyway, you wait till they gain the dominance in Europe. Mark it on the wall somewhere and find this video in the future and think Baba Shu is lying.
And decontextualized understanding of Islamic law. But what's interesting is this: so long as something is justified through a social contract on liberalism, look what John Locke is saying.
This is what they like to do most of the times, especially the Sunnis. When they want to defend their cases, they always have to go to the scholars of Christianity or so on, or philosophers, to quote their reference and talk about and try to justify their nonsense. This is what they always do. If, for instance, somebody accuses that the Prophet married a 6-year-old girl according to the hadith and it is not good, they will start going to the British law to quote and say, look, the Britain and this year, so and so, 12 years old were allowed to be married at an age of consensus and so on. Look at the foolishness. We are talking about a prominent prophet. You are here going to quote the British law and some nonsense laws and say, oh, okay, why don't people like Muhammad Hijab marry 6-year-old girl? Let's see. Marry, and let's see.
It can be an apostasy law. He's
quoting somebody's opinion that he said 300 years ago. There can be an apostasy law. You are just supporting that. He is going to embarrass himself at the end of this video. Muhammad Hijab is going to embarrass himself. You watch and see what I'm saying.
saying because the state of the Jews is predicated on your contracting with God and your...
Now he brings the Jews into the picture, trying to justify the claims of the hadith that the apostasy law of, dealing with somebody who is a murtad, according to the Sunnis. That is why they call us murtad. Even Asim Al-Hakim, I did a video on him. He's calling us murtads, meaning we are apostates. And according to them, people like that, they should eliminate the Quran alone followers. I'm not joking. In Nigeria, they try it to a lot of people. The northern part of Nigeria, by the way, not the whole of Nigeria.
Or being Jewish in the first instance, that it's justifiable on liberalism. Listen to this carefully. It's justifiable on liberalism. From this social contract understanding, that if someone publicly says, I'm not a Jew anymore, for the state to say, come hold here, come here, we're going to execute you. Now,
is that so? I'm not a Jew anymore, so they have to execute you. I'm not a Sunni anymore. They have to execute you. I'm not a Muslim anymore. They have to execute. Where does it say that in the Quran? Where? The foolish mushriks would just be justifying this stupidity and thinking this guy, Hibijibis, is making sense. Open the Quran. Show us this law where God says somebody goes away from Islam, terminates them. Come and show me. Come and show him. Let's continue.
Is that what the Quran says?
Then he ended up exposing himself. He said, is that what the Quran says? The foolishness of these Hibijib people is when they meet Christians and atheists and other religions, they want to act like they are defending the Quran alone. Wallahi, you haven't noticed, right? These mushriks, the Sunnis, you name them, when they meet Christians, Jews, atheists, agnostic, this is when these people will be acting like they defend the Quran. You see what he says? Can this be found in the Quran? No, it is not found there. It's found in the garbage book, which these same people will tell you, if you don't believe that garbage book, you are not a Muslim. But when he stood in front of the prominent people in Britain to speak, he will just go ahead using the Quran because he knows this nonsense cannot be found in the book of God. So he will be speaking with confidence. Do you see the point? Okay.
Quran doesn't make this kind of articulation, by the way.
Quran doesn't make this kind of articulation, by the way, which is true. But if Muhammad Hijab is talking to me right now, and now Muhammad Hijab will leave the Quran to go and bring the garbage hadith to pass on his judgment. When I tell him, hey, leave that garbage book on the side, the book of God doesn't say that. Muhammad Hijab will call me a kafir. Do you see the irony here? But I bet a lot of you don't observe that. You don't pay attention to that. Let's continue.
This is what John Locke says, who is the founding father of liberalism. So how conceivable is it on liberalism that these laws can be put in place? It is fully conceivable in principle. Now, one could argue that was John Locke, that was 300 years ago. We're no longer looking at Locke. My argument is not about John Locke. He is looking at the conceivability through the principles of liberalism. I am saying,
look how he's talking. Hey, sweet talker. You wait till the day Baba Shu gets you one-on-one, inshallah. Sweet talker. Principality, the liberalism. This guy thinks we are acting, like, you know, when a script is written for you in a play. Allah, Muhammad EBGBs.
because the principles of liberalism through social contract allow such possibilities, you cannot argue that liberalism is against a public apostasy law which would entail a death of a person. You cannot argue that. It's impossible to argue that.
So guys, here you have Muhammad Hibijibis talking about an apostasy law. And they will act as if they are on the side of the Quran by defending the Quran, which is not true. When they are pushing the tight corner, that's where they bring their real colors out. You remember when I played Mushrik Lantin's video here, when he was talking to Isa bin Yahya, you heard when he told him that the Quran is the final. Nothing comes after the Quran, right? I have the video. This same person will meet me, Baba Shu, and tell me, no, Quran is not enough. That is how they are. Yes, thank you, my brother. Rolling dice. Greetings, bro. Salam, Kankani. So now let's go to the main topic of today. I'm going to play the video of Gaddafi. Then after, I will go over to tell you the incident or what it is about. Right? I'm going to talk about the video of Gaddafi. Kindly pay attention to the video. It's about 9 minutes video. I just want you to pay attention. Some parts will be spoken in Arabic, some parts will be translated, some parts will be spoken in English. But I just want you to pay attention as to why when they finished him, when they terminated him, they were saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. According to them, the scholars made the people aware that they are killing a kafir. So according to them, Gaddafi was a kafir. Yes, according to the people who terminated Gaddafi, they were not killing a Muslim. They were killing a kafir. So that is why his people were made to terminate him. Because in the eyes of the people, you, the Quran alone follower, you are printed or you are designed as a murtad, apostate, in the eyes of the mushriks, the Sunnis, and so on. Yes, that's how you have been programmed to be in front. So even your loved one can hate you just because you advocate the Quran alone for guidance. They don't like you. And it's not a joke.
هو أنكر عندنا أنه حرف القرآن.
نعم أمامكم.
إيه أنكر هذا التحريف.
نعم.
لكنه ثابت عليه بأخبار عدد من الليبيين أمامي في الحرم.
نعم.
أنه يقول لا تقولوا قل هو الله أحد، قل أعوذ برب الفلق، قل أعوذ برب الناس، قل يا أيها الكافرون. هذه للنبي لما مات ما تقال قل يا أيها الكافرون الله أحد إلى آخره. ثم
نعم.
سمعت خطيب في التلفاز أكد هذه القصة.
نعم.
عليه.
أنا عندما أقرأ أي آية فيها قل هو الله أحد، قل أعوذ برب الفلق، قل أعوذ برب الناس، أقول الآتي: قل هو الله أحد، هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل أعوذ برب الفلق، أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق إلى آخره. فيها خطأ دي. خلاص.
فإنه ينكر سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
اللهم صل.
ويقول لا حاجة إلى السنة. والسنة بإجماع المسلمين أنها الركن الثاني من أركان التشريع الإسلامي.
اللهم صل على محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم، هذا خطأ غير صحيح.
When you say that Allah, please pray upon Muhammad in the same way that you did on Ibrahim, this is not true actually. This is not correct.
الله لم يصلي على إبراهيم.
Allah did not pray for Ibrahim.
القرآن والسنة هما الأساس في الإسلام. هو ينكر ذلك علانية أمام عدد من أهل العلم.
صحيح.
أنا أحدهم قابلناه في ليبيا.
قابلته سنة كم يا شيخ؟
قابلناه سنة 99 و300 وألف
قبل
في بنغازي.
من اللي قال لك محمد يشفع لك؟ والله شو النفاق والدجل هدايا لأن محمد بيشفع لنا. تما والله أقوى من محمد، ما هو اللي يقدر يحطك أنت محمد في الجنة ولا في النار. شوف الخطأ اللي احنا ماشي محتاجين له ثورة ثقافية. تو هذا الدجل كتيبات صغيرة أقراها 1000 مرة باش نضيع الوقت. هذه باش مش عارف ايش يحصل لك كذا كذا، وهذه باش تغفر لك ذنوبك، وهذه صلاة الاستسقاء، وهذه صلاة الاستخارة، وهذه هذه كل ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان. كل هذه كلام غير دجل. تضخ المطابع تو في الدجل وفي الفضائيات تقدم له في الدجل. محتاجين له ثورة ثقافية تحطم كل المنابر.
فهذا الرجل ابتلي به الليبيون. نحن سبقا قررنا بأنه غير مسلم.
هذه فتوى.
ولا بلغنا أنه تاب.
نعم.
حتى نقال تائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب له.
شيخ حتى المشاهد يتابع معك، قررتم متى؟ هذه فتوى هيئة كبار العلماء.
تقرر هذا في حدود يمكن سنة 402.
اي نعم. بفتوى هيئة كبار العلماء.
نعم.
نعم.
نحن الذين قابلناك أنا واثنين توفيوا معي، 3 توفي رحمة الله عليهم.
الله يغفر لهم.
وبقيت أنا العلم عند الله متى نلحقهم.
نعم.
وكان سيء الأدب في اللقاء.
طيب وين قبر محمد؟ أنا أتحدى أي واحد يقول لنا هذا قبر محمد. ما هوش موجود. ما هوش موجود. انتهى القبر محمد وجثة محمد وجثمانه وانتهت قبور الصحابة وقبور أهل البيت والمهاجرين والأنصار تم طمسهم. شو يضرنا إذا كان هذا قبر فاطمة وهذا قبر عائشة وهذا قبر عثمان وهذا عمر وهذا.
هو اعترف بأنه يقول لا حاجة للسنة، القرآن يكفي. فقلنا له نحن الثلاثة والأربعة كيف نعرف أن الظهر 4 والعصر 4 والمغرب 3 والعشاء 4 والفجر 2؟ كيف نعرف ذلك إذا لم نعمل بالسنة؟ القرآن لم يذكر هذا التقسيم. وجد نفسه حائرا لا يجد جواب. هو ليس أهلا للجواب، لكن الغرور والاستعلاء. قيل له أيضا الزكاة كيف تعرف نصاب الإبل والغنم والبقر والذهب والفضة إلى آخره؟ لما شاف أنه سوف يحرج قال الفاتحة. جلسنا معه يمكن ساعة ونص، لأنه كما قلت لكم عنه شخصيا لا نراه مسلما. ولما أعيدت النقاش فيه مرة ثانية طلب من جهة رسمية، أنا قلت للمجموعة أنتم سبقا قلتم بأنه غير مسلم، إنسان جدد الإسلام وتاب فليعمل بعمل هذه التوبة.
الآن يقولون إن الشيعة هي إيران والسنة هي العرب، وهذه أكبر كذوبة تاريخية. الحقيقة ساطعة سطوع الشمس في رابعة النهار. من أين جت هذه التفسيرات المضحكة المبكية لأصحابها؟ متى قامت دولة شيعية في إيران أو في أي مكان آخر خارج الوطن العربي؟ أول دولة شيعية في التاريخ هي في شمال أفريقيا، الدولة الفاطمية الأولى. أهل البيت هم اللي لهم الحق الإلهي في الحكم والإمامة. هذا هو أساس المشكلة، وهذا هو اللي وقع اليوم. الآن ما نقبلش من بعد اليوم أي واحد في الوطن العربي يحكم باسم القرآن أو باسم الدين أو يعمل دولة دينية ما لم يكن من أهل البيت، وإلا يكون هو غير جدير وما ليش الحق وما ليش الشرعية أبدا، ويسحب البساط من تحت قدامه وليسقط في الحضيض في 60 داهية. أنا استغرب يعني مثل الأردن كيف ما تكونش من الشيعة المتشيعة لأهل البيت. هل معقول الأردن تؤيد معاوية، تؤيد أبو سفيان، تؤيد هند؟ لا يمكن. ما ليش تحسب نفسها سنة؟ هي ملكنا، هي تاريخنا، هي إرثنا. نحن صنعنا الدولة الفاطمية الأولى وسنصنع الدولة الفاطمية الثانية. هذه دولتنا، لا أحد يستطيع أن يحتج، ليس له الحق أن يحتج علينا. والذي يحتج علينا هو ينبح. هذه دولتنا قامت فوق هذه الأرض، أقامها أجدادنا، فنحن أولى بها وببعثها كلما تمكنا من ذلك. لا تستطيع القاهرة أن تهرب من مصيرها الفاطمي. القاهرة هي قاهرة المعز بالله. القاهرة صنعها الفاطميون، لولا الفاطميين ما في قاهرة، ما في مصر. ماذا كانت مصر قبل الفاطميين؟ كانت اسكندرية والأهرامات. الفاطميون هم الذين اختاروا مصر قلب الأمة أن تكون عاصمة لهم، وبنوا القاهرة. القاهرة فاطمية 100%. من يستطيع أن يهرب من فاطمية القاهرة؟ الأزهر، ما هو الأزهر؟ هو فاطمة الزهراء، هو مسجد فاطمة الزهراء. كل من تخرج وسيتخرج من الأزهر أو درس ويدرس في الأزهر لا يستطيع أن يخرج من جلدته. الأزهر قلعة من قلاع الفاطمية. لولا الفاطميين ما في أزهر. ما معنى الأزهر؟ معناها جامع فاطمة الزهراء. راجعوا كل ثقافتكم وأعيادكم ومواسمكم في شمال أفريقيا كلها شيعية.
The translative work of the Shaykh Salih al-Lahidan, rahimahullah, was brought to you by the Muslim Advice Network. You can support the da'wah by subscribing, liking and sharing so that you can all partake in the khairat. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to have made this of benefit to us all.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. This is a video of Gaddafi that was compiled together. It shows you clearly how the Arab scholars were against him. And they hated the notion of the concept he is trying to bring to the Arab world, to wake them up to follow the book of God. You understand? He wants to bring the focus, just like the Mohammed bin Salman, the king of Saudi Arabia right now, prince, the king, is trying to do by trimming. By Gaddafi, Gaddafi just went all out, straight forward. Now, when you go straight forward to the scholars, of course, even bin Salman, people hate him. Among the scholars, some don't like him already, but they cannot say it right now because he is in charge. But with the notion of Gaddafi, those scholars in the Arab world, this is why they became mute. They were quiet for him to be terminated. And when he was terminated, I have videos, evidences of videos where the people were saying, Allahu Akbar, Allah, because according to them, they've overthrown and killed a kafir, an apostate. It's because of these scholars, because they are the ones who hated Gaddafi. You get the point? So here, let's start the video.
هو أنكر عندنا أنه
Here, this scholar was talking about Gaddafi as to distorting the Quran to them. Because according to the Sunnis, when you speak about the Quran and it is not in line with what their dead scholars have taught them, they will never agree with you. Even if it is word for word, you are telling them straightly what the Quran says. Out of the foolishness of the sectarians, they agree the Quran is Mubin, Kitab al-Mubin, Quran al-Mubin, Quran chapter 27 verse 1. Quran is Mubin. The Kitab is Mubin, right? It's a clear book. So when the statement is precise, you just need to understand the precise statement. But according to their foolishness, they've been indoctrinated to take the tafsir of Qurtubi, Ibn Kathir, Tabari, Jalalain, Sa'd, Bagawi, and so on, Ibn Abbas. They like these tafsirs, but not the tafsir of God himself in the Quran. Out of their foolishness, they admit there is the tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran. So if you admit there is tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran, let's stick with the tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran first. Let's see what God says. The foolish mushriks will tell you, no, akhi, no. The Quran cannot be understood. Let us bring our garbage book first. So to the Sunnis, when you are talking about the Quran, and if it doesn't flow with what their dead scholars tell them, there's no way they will agree with you. So when Gaddafi was speaking to these scholars, he was actually telling them, imagine all of them being Arabs. All of them being Arabs. But because these scholars are not sincere, they just want to go with the flow of the garbage books. They will not agree with Gaddafi. No.
حرف القرآن.
نعم أمامكم.
They said the Gaddafi was distorting the Quran in front of them. Then he admitted to the host by telling the host that yes, he denied the distortion of it. Gaddafi didn't distort it. He is just telling you the truth of how the Quran needs to be taken. You are saying he distorted the Quran, and you again are telling the people that he denied the distortion of it. How did he distort the Quran? Somebody who advocates for the book of God to be followed, then you are saying he distorts the words of God. Does it make sense?
ينكر هذا التحريف لكنه ثابت عليه
Then he says, but it is well established through the reports and numerous Libyans, meaning we have Libyans who are actually not in line with what Gaddafi is saying. So now the Libyans who don't agree with Gaddafi are already establishing that those statements that Gaddafi has been distorting the Quran. Because when Gaddafi goes to talk to his people, he speaks the words of the Quran and tells his people, we have to advocate the movement of following the book of God and leaving behind those nonsense books they wrote aside the Quran. You get the point?
أخبار عدد من الليبيين أمامي في الحرم.
نعم.
Now, you see, the problem with this kind of scholars is the moment they hate you, the moment they have made a decision on you, there is nothing you will say for it to go to the head, to stick to their heart. They are not willing to agree with you. Never. Sister JS says, R.I.P. Gaddafi, this is what happens when you stand up to the world bankers and the parallel Islamic religion all at once. They sodomize you to death and smear your image. He was a man of truth and courage. Yes. There is a way to stand up to them. When you stand up to them wholeheartedly, these people will do anything they will do to bring it down. As I'm talking, I have one foolish guy from Ghana. His name is UTI Bozu. All of a sudden, taking my videos, calling me a madman, saying I was taken to the mental hospital, saying I was a madman in Ghana, saying that I was walking naked, saying that even my family members are mad, saying that all of a sudden, just because this bozo cannot face me one-on-one, so he has to tarnish my image. Now you go, I've taken him to court. So now you go to the court and tell the judge and prove to the judge how I became a madman, which hospital I was taken as a madman. See you in court. Prove to the judge, and I'll make sure after this case is done, I'll publicize it for the world to see. He's a Sunni or Tijani or something in Ghana. This guy went ahead tarnishing my image, because when you advocate for the book of God, they become your enemies. They just want to damage your reputation. They just want to ruin everything about you. To be honest, can you imagine this moron went ahead to call me the enemy of the prophet? And he says, I hate Islam. He said, hey. So upon me doing my best to defend this honorable man, to defend the book of God, you go ahead tarnishing my image to the world, saying I'm a madman. No problem. You go to the court and prove to the judge how I became a madman. See you in court. So this is what they do. When they hate you to the extent, when you mention the word of God as being the sole purpose of guidance, that is what they try to do. They want to damage you. They want to, look, mushriks, don't give them the space. They will, even if it's a family member, be careful. Look, if you have a family member who is a Sunni, be careful. Don't just go wholeheartedly speaking about Quran and say, come, let's vote. No. I swear to God, those people can damage you, regardless of them being a family member. It's not a joke. So let's go.
أنه يقول لا تقولوا قل هو الله أحد قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس قل يا أيها الكافرون. هذه للنبي لما مات ما تقال قل يا أيها الكافرون الله أحد إلى آخره. ثم سمعت خطيب في التلفاز أكد هذه القصة عليه.
أنا عندما
You see, MFG is saying something. MFG says Gaddafi want verses from the Quran removed. He was similar to Megamind more than on the truth. Now, so this is a statement I beg to differ. This is the statement actually his enemies were attributing to him. This statement, it was not evidential. It was the enemies who tarnished his image, brought that, just as in my country. We have people saying that I said Prophet Muhammad is not a prophet. We have people saying that I even insulted Prophet Muhammad. Can you imagine? But this is the narrative people will pass on till it starts sounding like the truth. Then people will start saying, oh, Baba Shuaib insulted the prophet. Baba Shuaib calls the prophet this. He said the prophet is not the prophet of God. So just as MFG is writing right now, from this video, that is not how Gaddafi said it. You understand? But the narrative which will be passed against Gaddafi is to make Gaddafi look like a bad guy. So I'm going to play this video. You are going to understand this perspective I'm talking about.
أقرأ أي آية فيها قل هو الله أحد قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس أقول الآتي قل هو الله أحد هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد قل أعوذ برب الفلق أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق إلى آخره. فيها خطأ دي.
So this statement he said, when I'm making a salat, me Baba Shuaib, when I'm making a salat, the verse says kul, right? But when I'm making salat and I'm in front of God alone, I don't use the word kul. I use the word a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, or a'udhu bi rabbil falak, min sharri ma halak, wa min sharri ghasikin iza waqab, wa min sharri nafasati fil uqad, wa min sharri hasidin iza hasad. I do it this way. Right? Now, when Gaddafi was saying these statements, you see clearly being translated, he is not saying they should remove a verse. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Gaddafi never said remove, because when people are listening to your words, pay close attention to how one word, when it's twisted, can distort everything you say. Because the moment you start speaking the truth to the people, you have a large fan base of enemies listening to you. So the best thing they want to do is to distort your statement. Gaddafi never said remove the verses. He never said that. Anyways, let's continue.
فإنه ينكر سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
So now the scholars were basing the emphasis that he is what? He is rejecting the sunnah of the prophet or the messenger, which you and I can testify there is no, in the Quran, there is nothing like sunnah of the prophet. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in the Quran. Nowhere does God say the sunnah to Nabi or sunnah to Rasulullah or sunnah to Muhammad. It doesn't exist. It is the fraudsters, the mushriks, the Sunnis who are trying to bring this concept by putting it as a shackle on people's neck, that sunnah of the prophet, sunnah of the prophet, sunnah of the prophet. You ask them, where do I find the sunnah of the prophet? They say in our garbage books, the Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Jami al-Tirmidhi, Abi Dawood, Sunan Nasa'i. These are where you find the garbage narrations attributing that as sunnah to the prophet. Are you getting the point? Okay. Then he says, Gaddafi said, there is no need for sunnah. Yes, there is no need. This is what Quran alone followers we are saying. That is the book of God. It is enough. أَوَلَمْ يَخْفِهِمْ أَنَّ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ يُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ Quran chapter 29 verse 51. Is it not sufficient that the book of God has been revealed to you, being recited to them? The foolish mushriks will tell you, no, it's not sufficient. We need the garbage books. That is exactly why they hated Gaddafi. But from the outside, you hear foolish people telling you Gaddafi is a Sunni. Gaddafi was not a Sunni. It's just because when he speaks, people will twist the narrative because they hate him. This is the agenda of the mushriks. It has been like that till day one. When the prophet was alive, he had enemies and hypocrites around him. The same hypocrites are there today. The same hypocrites. They are the ones writing these garbage hadith books telling you to follow. Let's continue. So he is saying that Gaddafi said they should reject the sunnah of the prophet, and the sunnah the Sunnah by the consensus of all Muslims. So they classify the mushriks as Muslims. So all the mushriks, like the Sunni mushriks, Wahhabi, Salafi, you name them, Sufi, and so on, like I said, they are mushriks, right? Because whatever they've invented is not approved by God. Do you get the point?
المسلمين أنها الركن الثاني.
Now, according to this scholar, he is saying that the Sunnah by consensus is known to be the secondary pillar for Islamic legislation. According to who? Where did the Prophet say Sunnah is the second source of Islamic legislation? You see the foolishness. Do you see the foolishness of the scholars? They will say is the second source or the secondary pillar for legislation. Hey, Mushrikanga. Where does it say that in the Quran? God clearly asked in Quran chapter 42 verse 21, Am lahum shuraka ushara'u lahum min ad-din ma lam ya'zanu bi illah. Do they have idols who have legislated for them of a religion to which God has not authorized? Do you have such idols? You, out of their foolishness, you hear the sectarians saying, we have Imam Maliki, Hanbali, Shafi'i, Hanafi. They are the ones giving you legislation, telling you this is haram, this is halal, this is this, this is that, before you follow. When the book of God is there, Ma lakum kayfa tahkumun, am lakum kitabun fihi tadrusun, inna lakum fihi lama takhayyarun. So you leave the book of God, you invent other sources, then you go ahead to say this source is the second legislation for Islam. Oh my God.
من أركان التشريع الإسلامي.
اللهم صل على محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم. هذا.
Now Gaddafi goes ahead to recite their Allahumma salli ala Muhammad that the mushriks normally recite for the Prophet. Wallahi, anybody who recites Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, you are a mushrik. I'm not joking with you. God never asked anybody to come and say this nonsense. It is not you who is going to tell God to do salli ala Muhammad. God already said, Quran chapter 33 verse 56, Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. So God and his angels are already doing the sallu ala nabi. It is not you out of your foolishness. You come and sit in front of God and again you tell God, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Are you nuts? God already told you. He and his angels are doing the salli ala Muhammad. You out of your foolishness, you come and sit in front of God again. Then you tell God again, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Are you okay in the head? It's like Baba Shu is already cooking food. Then you come again to me, again you say, Baba Shu, can you cook food? Hello? No, what was I doing? Sleeping? Sleeping? So the mushriks are kaput in the head. Reasoning is out of the equation. Because to them, Islam, you cannot use common sense in religion. Yes, I'm not joking. Ask the Sunni scholars if I'm joking. That is what they tell their followers. Don't use common sense in Islam. Yes. Yes, salam zulaika. Don't use common sense in Islam. Yes, the Sunnis, they don't have common sense, by the way. It's kaput. So you come and sit down in your salah, then you tell God again, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Ali Muhammad, out of the foolishness. Read the verse. Where did the Ali Muhammad even come inside? Chapter 33 verse 56. If you are using it as your justification for sending your salats upon the Prophet, where does he say the Ali Muhammad there? Kama salaita wa rahimta wa barakta ala Ibrahim. Out of your foolishness. Where did God say he is doing salli ala Ibrahim? Hey, these mushriks, you have no way out of with this foolishness. So that is how they terminated Gaddafi, by attributing falsehood to him, false accusations. Now let's continue.
When you say that Allah, please pray upon Muhammad in the same way that you did on Ibrahim, this is not true actually.
It's not true. I support the dead man. Gaddafi is just telling them blunted truth. It is not true. Where did God says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad kama ala Ibrahim? Where? Where? In which book? The garbage book? That is nonsense. That is why the Arab Gulf scholars hated Gaddafi. That is why the Arab Gulf scholars classify Gaddafi as a kafir, because to them, the moment you reject their sunnah, you are classified as a murtad, because they are mushriks. They hate you because you follow the book of God. That is what they do. That is how Sunnis are programmed, to classify you as a kafir because you reject the comedy books. Now listen.
It's not correct.
Allah lam yusalli ala Ibrahim.
Allah did not pray for Abraham.
It's a simple truth. Nowhere in the Quran did God say he's praying for Ibrahim. How can God be praying for an entity? No, look, do you know the meaning of prayer? Prayer means an act of communicating with a deity. God is God. He is the deity. So if you say God is praying, God is praying for who? Oh my God. So God and his angels are praying for who? So when God prays, then God will tell which God that, hey God, other God, can you bless Muhammad? Hey, what is wrong with people? I'll commit suicide if I was a Sunni. What is this? So God is praying for Muhammad, but he praying to which God? So that the other God will do what for Muhammad? They say they are sending blessings. Oh my God. How do you send blessings to a dead man? Muhammad is dead and gone. You are here sending blessings. Hey, you are sending blessings. Wayo. An honorable man of God who God has already approved. You are sending blessings to Muhammad. Allah mushriks, you are not well. Hey. When we ask you to study, you the same Sunnis, you said there is tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran. Why don't you stick with the tafsir of the Quran to understand what God is saying? Why do you need to depend on your comedian scholars? Seriously. Why do you need to depend on your comedian scholars to keep twisting the narrative? They will tell you the Prophet is the best mufassir of the Quran, but yet these people follow their scholars to do the tafsir of the Quran. They will take tafsir of Ibn Kathir, Ibn Abbas, Jalalain, Qurtubi, Bagawi, Sadi, you name it, Tabari, and so on. These are the tafsirs they'll be using. But the same hypocrisy, the Sunni scholars will tell you there is tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran. Okay, we want tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran. Come and open it. Where did God say I should send blessings to the Prophet? Because my blessings is not even enough for me to take out of my blessings and say I'm blessing the honorable man of God. So according to you, the Sunni, the foolish no-brainers, you don't know that God himself know that he has to bless the Prophet. So it is you, out of your mushrik ideology, you have to now tell God to bless his Prophet, because they said they are sending blessings. Hey, I need to have enough money to send money to somebody. I don't have enough money. How can I send money to somebody? So you are sending blessings to the Prophet. Well, let's continue.
القرآن والسنة هما الأساس.
It says Quran and Sunnah, they are the basis in Islam. You see the foolishness here. Where does it say in the Quran that Quran and Sunnah are the basis? Where? When you read Quran chapter 5 verse 3, God says he has completed the religion at the time of the Prophet. It was complete. You have your scholars now telling you Quran and Sunnah are the basis of the religion. Where is it written? So do you see how your scholars are making legislations for you in Islam? Not from God. Legislations by your scholars. Ask this scholar to prove to you where did God say this nonsense.
في الإسلام هو ينكر ذلك على.
And then this scholar goes ahead to say Gaddafi rejects this knowingly. Did you prove to him from the book of God? He has to reject it. It is not in the book of God. The same way we also reject it. You classify us as kafir. This is what you mushriks do. We reject what you say because you cannot prove it from the book of God. You end up calling us murtad because we don't agree with your nonsense. Gaddafi did the same and the scholars went for his neck.
أمام عدد من أهل العلم.
Then he says, in front of numerous people of knowledge, Gaddafi rejected it. He faced scholars because the Sunnis, they are very good at calling their scholars against you. Say, come and face this guy, prove him wrong. Call him, let's do mukabala or let's do mubahala and so on. Let's sit him down. Let's interrogate him. Let's do this. He faced the scholars and he told them the same thing. He didn't change his words. Now, guess what? These scholars now turn against him to make him look like a kafir in front of his people. This is why they never defended him. And this is why they even say Allahu Akbar after killing him. Excuse my language. I'm on TikTok. I don't want to be. After terminating him, they were saying Allahu Akbar. The videos are there. The videos are there.
أنا أحدهم قابلناه في ليبيا.
This scholar says, I was one of them. We met him in Libya. Okay, no problem. These statements you are now bringing it after Gaddafi is dead. But let's go forward.
Yeah.
قابلته سنة كم يا شيخ؟
قابلناه سنة.
Which year did this happen? He says we met him in the year 1979. They met Gaddafi. Let's go on. In Benghazi.
99 و300 وألف. في بنغازي.
مين اللي قال محمد يشفع لك؟
Now Gaddafi is asking his people, who told you Muhammad will intercede for you? Isn't that the same statement Quran alone followers we are asking the mushriks? Who told you? Because garbage book, Sahih Bukhari book, Sahih Muslim book tells you the Prophet will intercede for you. You are rejoicing. So you are sending salawats. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. If you ask the mushriks, why are you sending? They say because the Prophet will intercede for me on the day of judgment. You are a mushrik by definition. Wallahi, wallahi. If you are a Sunni, you say you are sending blessings upon the Prophet. The question is, why do you send? They said because the Prophet will intercede for them on the day of. You ask any Sunni if I'm lying. Ask them, why do you send blessings to the Prophet? Ask them, why do you send blessings upon the Prophet? They will tell you because the Prophet will intercede for them on the day of judgment. You are a mushrik. Wallahi, wallahi. You are a mushrik. Go and read Quran chapter 6 verse 52. You are on your own on that day. Quran chapter 39 verse 19. Nobody can save you when you incur hell. Quran chapter 39 verse 61. It is only your achievement that can save you on the day of judgment. Nobody can intercede for you. Go and read Quran chapter 2 verse 47 to 48. You are on your own. No soul can save you on that day. Out of your foolishness, you fail to see that even Noah couldn't save his son. Noah, go and read Quran chapter 11 verse 40. Read up to verse 50 and see. Noah couldn't even save his son. So you think the prophet is going to save you that he doesn't even know. You the mushrik who calls himself a Sunni. Which prophet never asked you to become a Sunni? So Gaddafi asked his people, who told you Muhammad will intercede for you? Gaddafi went ahead. He said, oh, what is this hypocrisy and fraud? It is a fraud. Wallahi, it's a fraud. If you believe in that nonsense, that you saying the prophet will intercede for you when he doesn't even know you. After Quran chapter 25 verse 30 clearly telling you that the messenger will come in front of God and says, my people have taken this Quran as abandoned. You say this same man is going to intercede for you, to save you, the mushrik. You, the Sunni, the mushrik. They say because you believe in Muhammad. Gaddafi is telling you, God is more powerful than Muhammad. This is the same thing that when we tell you the mushriks, you don't understand. You think we are against the prophet. We don't hate the prophet. If you want to understand why we put the prophet to the position God has put him, and we put God in the higher status, go and read Quran chapter 2, verse 165. Believers have more love for God than anybody else. Chapter 2, verse 165. Apart from that, go and read the Quran and read why we put God first. Quran chapter 18, verse 110. The prophet himself, he said, Kul innama ana basharu mithlukum yuha ilayya annama ilahukum ilahun wahid. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّي فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّي أَحَدًا. Quran chapter 18, verse 110. The messenger is telling you, you should worship your God and should not associate anyone in the worship of your Lord. Don't associate anyone in the worship of your Lord. What do the foolish mushriks keep doing? Every time Muhammad. When they are going to eat, Muhammad. When they are going to party, Muhammad. When they are going to sleep with their wives, Muhammad. When they are going to do their salat, Muhammad. When they are going to send blessings, Muhammad. When they, hey, mushriks, why? No, why? Go and read Quran chapter 3, verse 79. It is not for a man that God has given him prophethood that he will come to the people and say, be my servant besides God. Never will a man of God do that. But because you don't study the book of God, you take what the scholars tell you, you end up becoming mushriks. And when you are told you are mushriks, you are infuriated. Then he says, he is the one who can put you and Muhammad in paradise or hell. Yes, that is God. Read Quran chapter 39, verse 19. You will understand. God is asking Muhammad, those who are going to incur hell, can you save them from the hellfire? That is a question God asked the prophet. Open it yourself and check. Quran chapter 39, verse 19. Open it right now and check. God is asking the prophet, those who are going to incur hell, will you be able to save them from hellfire? If God put somebody in hell, can Muhammad save them? The foolish mushriks will tell you the prophet will come on the day of judgment, Anallaha, it is my day. Then, according to their garbage books, then God will tell the prophet, go to the hellfire, go and bring out anybody you want. Hey. Hey. Hey, he should go to the hellfire and take out anybody he wants. Hey, Jama, mushriks, hey, these mushriks, we've worried us for a very long time. Wallahi. And we even paid madrasa fee for you to lie to us. Wallahi. Look. If you see any of your old malams who has taught you this lie, you have to curse him. Wallahi, wallahi, especially in Ghana. They will whip you just to go and study this falsehood. I will say to thank you. Let's continue. So now Gaddafi went ahead to say, see the error. Hence, we need cultural revolution. Yes, they need the revolution. Look, Gaddafi was not just coming out to say you need to follow the Quran alone. He has to speak to his people in a high form of intelligence, right? Just like in the modern day, the scholars have programmed people so much that if we come out to say Quran alone, the moment you say Quran alone, the person doesn't want to listen to you. Say, hey, Auzubillah, he's a Quranist. I don't want to hear. So there have to be a way where you speak to your people to listen to you. Do you get the point? And that was what Gaddafi was doing.
ماشي محتاجين لثورة ثقافية. تو هذا الدجل
So the Gaddafis are saying, what is this fraud? Small books of hadith. Just like Baba Shuaib is telling you, these garbage books. It is a fraud. Wallahi, hadith books, all of the hadith books. Look, if Baba Shuaib has power in this world, well, I'll ban all hadith books. Not even an iota of hadith will be left on earth, except the Quran. Well, I'm not joking with you. Do you know the damage the hadith has caused on this earth? Do you know the fitna the hadith books have caused? And you know the madness the hadith books have caused?
صغيرة أقرأها 1000 مرة باش نضيع.
Then Gaddafi went ahead to say that we read 1,000 times just to waste our time. You read hadith books to waste. Look at the foolish scholars you normally know, the imams around your mosques. Go to the mosque and see how much they have piled the garbage books in the mosques. Such a waste of time. Such a waste of time. Go, you the Sunnis around you, the Sunnis, the Salafis, go to their mosque and see the garbage shelf they have in the mosque behind them. Thousands of garbage books. Then the book of God is somewhere down there. That one they will give you for free. But those garbage books, each book costs like $300. And you are wasting your time. So it is the same message Gaddafi was telling his people. Gaddafi was telling his people. Gaddafi was not against the Quran. Gaddafi was not against Islam. Gaddafi was not against God. He was against the garbage books. But when you listen to other people's narrative about a person other than the horse himself, that is when people start to twist the words of the man. People will go ahead to say, oh, Gaddafi says they should take verses out. Gaddafi never said that. Never. It was the enemies who were twisting this narrative to get people to hate him. Just as today we are doing, and our enemies are clearly watching us, but they hate us. They will say Baba Shuaib is insulting the Prophet. Baba Shuaib hates Islam. Baba Shuaib says Prophet Muhammad is nobody. He says Prophet is not even a prophet. That is what the mushriks keep doing. Because to them, they have to let the people hate you before anybody will get to hear your message. Do you get the point? Okay. Shurulini says, they will clip this and call you Hitler. But Hitler himself, I have a documentary. Hitler is not a bad man, by the way. I have a documentary on him. It is the depiction of the enemies who bring his narrative. That is when they want us to see him as a bad man. Hitler was not a bad man. Then they will go, this hadith, for if this and that happens to you, and this one to expiate your sins, they will tell you send blessings 1,000 times, you get a Jannah built for you in the house, in the paradise. How many houses do you want? Even on earth, if they give you house with 10 rooms, please, how are you even going to clean the house? Look, here, Baba Shuaib, I live in the 65-meter square. Sometimes I'll clean my house. I struggle to go and clean the balcony. I'll leave it for the next day. You are saying they are going to build 10 houses for you in the Jannah. What are you going to use it for? Hello, what? You keep lying to yourselves. They send blessings. You do. Hey, mushriks.
وهذه صلاة الاستسقاء وهذه صلاة الاستخارة وهذه هذه كلها ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان كل هذه كلام.
All these hadiths are speech that isn't what?
دجل ضخ.
That fraudulent deceit pumped by the press. Gaddafi being in a high power and position, telling you the bitter truth, because the scholars don't want to hear it. They sabotaged this guy and made him die a painful death. Wallahi, these mushriks. Look, the Sunnis, the sectarians, they can put their life on the line just to take you out. They don't care whether you are their family member. Wallahi, wallahi. The Sunnis, they don't care whether you are the family member. So far as you say you are going to follow the Quran alone, the Sunni being your father, being your mother, being your uncle, being your sister, being your brother, I swear to God, God bear me witness, they can eliminate you. They don't give a damn who you are anymore. The moment you say, this is the path I want to take, the path of God, look, it is better for you to even steal the family treasures. Yeah, that one day is okay. They can settle with you. But then you see, the moment you say you want to follow the book of God alone, you are in danger. I'm serious. It's not a joke.
المطابع تو في الدجل وفي الفضائيات.
Gaddafi went ahead to say they are circulating lies and in the satellite television bringing you this fraud, because wherever you tune in, you see Zakir Naik, you see Mufti Menk, you see these guys always repeating the same lies to you. Asim Al-Hakim taking $150 for 30 minutes consultation. Can you imagine? What do these guys have to offer you other than lies? So somebody was good, like Gaddafi was saying it for a long time, but because they hated him, they were giving a false narration about him, lying to us that Gaddafi hates Islam. Gaddafi wants verses to be removed. Where did Gaddafi say that? I want verses to be removed from the book of God. Hey! Because this is what they told the Arabs so that they can hate him. Wallahi, when I saw the video of Gaddafi being eliminated and I saw the Arabs shouting, Allahu Akbar, then I knew what God says. Allah Rabbu ashaddu kufur wa nifaq. Yes, Quran chapter 9 verse 97. Until date, when you speak to a lot of the Arabs, they will try to change this statement and say, no, it's not talking about the Arabs. It is Badun. Oh, don't lie. Go to Quran chapter 33 verse 20. Baduna fil Arab. If God wanted to say Badun, he will say bad. Baduna fil Arab. If God wanted to say Baduna, the Bedouins, he will mention Baduna. God says Al-Arab. It doesn't mean all Arabs. If you read Quran chapter 9, verse 98, verse 99, it tells you some Arabs are good. Even the Prophet himself was an Arab. Yes, he himself is a good person. But it's telling you about the majority of the Arabs. When it comes to hypocrisy, disbelief, wallahi, they are number one. You move your eyes towards the east and see if God is lying to you. Move your eyes towards the east and see what is happening to Palestine right now, if God is lying to you. Wallahi, this is why they look. The Arab League was watching when Gaddafi was being terminated. The Arab League was watching when Saddam was being eliminated, just because of religious division. Because since they don't agree with him, they don't agree with him on his religious stance, to them you are a kafir. So, oh yeah, go. Yes, oh yeah. They don't care. Whoever is going to terminate you, yes, go and finish him. We don't need him. Oh yeah, take him away. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. When Prophet Muhammad was alive, he had hypocrites around him. Quran chapter 63 verse 1, Surah Al-Munafiqun. When he was alive, hypocrites were around him. Do you think when he is now dead, there are no hypocrites? Is that what you're thinking? Now that Prophet Muhammad is no more alive, you think the hypocrites are gone? Where did they go? Where? They are there. They are the same people bringing you the hadith books and telling you the shahada and so on, shahadatain. The same people.
الدم في الدجل محتاجين لثورة ثقافية تحطم كل المنابر.
So Gaddafi was telling his people, we need a cultural revolution. It is needed. The Arab leaders, scholars don't like what Gaddafi is doing. They hated what he's doing. So they have to sabotage him. So this scholar went ahead to say, so by this man, the Libyan people have been trialed.
فهذا الرجل ابتلي به الليبيون. نحن سبقا قررنا.
Then he says, we have previously established that he is not a Muslim. Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. These Sunnis, the moment you don't agree with their garbage books, the first thing they classify is a kafir. Just like you saw a video of Muhammad Hijab calling me a kafir. Just like you saw the UTI bozo from Ghana calling me a kafir. Even if you stick with the book of God alone, it's not enough for them. So far as you don't agree with their garbage books, wallahi, they consider you a murtad, a kafir. This is what they do. So now this scholar is confessing how they didn't classify Gaddafi as a Muslim. So which means the moment Sunnis don't classify you a Muslim, it means according to them you are a kafir. So that means according to their hadith book, you are an apostate. And according to the hadith book, Sahih al-Bukhari 3017, they have to terminate you. Now, are you getting the point here? Why Gaddafi was taken out? Does it make sense to you why his own people terminated him? Are you getting the point? Does it make sense to you now? It wasn't because he's a corrupt leader. It wasn't because he was taking gold or something. No. That wasn't the idea. That is why the Western world gave his people ammunition to finish him off. Because they already hated him based on religious purpose. Are you getting the point? Go and become UTI Dawas lawyer. Mushrikim banza. Ungani. Abin da zai muku. Aha. MFG says his own people terminated him because of his corruption. Because this is the narrative they keep giving you from the outside world. You see, what you need to understand is the moment you take a stance with the word of God, the narrative people will be talking about you out there is totally going to damage your reputation. Nothing good is going to come out of the opposition's mouth about you. When they tell you Gaddafi took verses, no evidence, they will just lie against the man. When they tell you Gaddafi is corrupt, no evidence, they will just be lying against the man just to tarnish his reputation because the scholars hated him. So they will get his people, pass on false narrative. This is something which has been happening since the times of the prophets and the messengers. People will do those things to you no matter what, so far as you stick with the truth. People will start tarnishing your image, saying you are corrupt, saying you did this, saying you did that, because they want people to agree with the narrative and then tarnish your image. So let's go.
أنه غير مسلم.
هذه فتوى.
ولا بلغنا أنه تاب.
Then the scholar says there is a verdict. They did a verdict against him. So the verdict are made by the Sunni scholars. Then they will classify you as, because Gaddafi already foretold the people about the media, the press, the false narrations they pass out there. So any documentary you are going to watch concerning Gaddafi is a program documentary to damage the man's reputation. Yes. Any documentary you are going to watch from the Arab League documenting about Gaddafi, they've already painted him black to make him look bad and evil to the people. Wallahi lazim. Talk to any real Libyan. Wallahi. They regret that Gaddafi was terminated. Wallahi. Any real Libyan regrets that Gaddafi was terminated. It is only the brainwashed version of the Libyans or the external versions of the Arabians who are now supporting against Gaddafi and thinking that, oh yeah, you're taking him out, yeah, kill him. Do you get the point?
نعم. حتى نقال تائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب له.
So that we will say the repenter from a sin is like the one who sinned not. These are the judgment, the verdicts the scholars are passing on Gaddafi. Now pay attention. So the host asked him, Sheikh, just so the viewers can follow along, when did you make this verdict? This verdict was from the committee of major scholars. And he says this verdict was made, this was decided in between the year 1981. By the verdict of the committee of major scholars. Then he says, me and two others, actually three others, whom all passed away. So it's obvious God kept him for a reason, so that he can live to tell the story, right? Okay, he will get and face God. Then he says, I'm the only one left, and the knowledge of when we shall follow suit is with God. Okay. He's talking about his death, right? Then he says, but Gaddafi was awful in mannerism during the meeting, because this is what sectarians, the mushriks, this is how they have been programmed. The moment you, the Quran alone follower, you are trying to pass your understanding out to them, they are not willing to listen to you. They will call you arrogant. They will call you, like, they will say your mannerism is very bad, your attitude. This is what the sectarians always do against somebody who is advocating for the book of God. This has been their attitude. They are quick to say your mannerism, you are arrogant, you are this. Exactly what the mushriks right now will be writing against Baba Shu. You say, oh, he's arrogant, he is this, he is that. Yes, this is how they have been programmed. Because you don't agree with the status quo, which is the garbage narrating they've been giving to people. You don't agree with that. So they will start tagging you, calling you names. You're saying your mannerism, you're this, you're that. Okay, no problem.
وكان سيء الأدب في اللقاء.
Here, Gaddafi removes a niqab of a Muslim sister with his own hand. Quran doesn't command this nonsense, because Quran never asks any woman to cover her face. For God's sake, where does the Quran say a woman should cover her face? If you are talking about the face of a woman being so beautiful, didn't Joseph, according to Quran chapter 12, didn't Joseph come out with his handsome face and walk in front of the women? So if being handsome or beautiful is a problem, why didn't Joseph cover his face? So are you saying it's only women who are beautiful and we don't have any handsome man also? So why the man not also wearing ninja? What kind of nonsense is this? So Gaddafi was being transparent because he was a powerful man who is leading a nation. These mushriks, you are lucky. Baba Shuaib has not been given the position of Suleiman. Wallahi, like the Mufti Mengs and the Zakir, that is slaps Nadagusha. Seriously. Like how I will make the jinns slap these mushriks. Don't worry.
طيب وين قبر محمد؟
So now, Gaddafi has been challenging the status quo, telling them these things you are commanding people to do are not found in the book of God. They are not following the book of God. So then Gaddafi says, I challenge anyone to say to me, this is the burial of Muhammad. Because that's where they tell you the grave of Muhammad in Saudi Arabia, that they said the Masjid in Nabawi, then they say the grave of Muhammad is in the mosque. It's a lie, oh, my people, it's a lie. To be honest. Gaddafi being an Arab is telling you the truth here. He challenged them to show him the burial of Muhammad, because the people of Mecca hated Muhammad. The hypocrites were there. The kafirs, the mushriks, they all hated the prophet. Now you go ahead to say the prophet was buried in his own mosque. Hey, these mushriks, eh? Anyways, let's go.
تحدى أي واحد يقول لنا هذا قبر محمد. ما هوش موجود.
It doesn't exist. Because the burial place they are telling you that is the grave of Prophet Muhammad in the masjid is a lie. My people, every masjid belongs to God. How come that masjid, they call it Masjid in Nabawi, Masjid of the Prophet? Hey, masjid is dedicated for God, not for a human being. Masjid is never for anybody but God. You call that Masjid in Nabawi. Hey, so you have a masjid dedicated to the Prophet. These mushriks, you have advanced. You have totally advanced.
ما هوش موجود. انتهى القبر محمد وجثة محمد وجثة.
And his body and the graves of companions, they are all lies. Nowhere to be found. All lies.
معنى قبور الصحابة وقبور أهل البيت والمهاجرين والأنصار تم طمسهم.
The graves are not there. They've been erased. It's just a sheer mere lies. The Arab world is telling you that we have the grave of Prophet Muhammad here. We have the grave of Nana Aisha here. It's a lie. My guys, it's a lie. It's coming from an Arabian man, a powerful man, telling you these facts. It's not a joke. These are the reasons why they hated this man. The enemy of your enemy. Do you see the game they played? So this is why America partnered with the terrorists at his time to terrorize Gaddafi. America partnered with the rebels who fought against Gaddafi to fight him, because already the rebels who are siding with the scholars don't agree with Gaddafi. They see him as a kafir. So America can now come in. When a house is divided, the enemy can enter easily and cause dissension. Remember this. When you are united, no enemy can come from afar and disengage you. But when you are disunited, the enemy can come in easily to disengage you. Are you getting the point here? America only had the chance to fight Gaddafi because they already realized the scholars were Arab Gulf was against Gaddafi. They see him as a kafir. So this is why Gaddafi shifted his focus to Africa in order to unite Africa instead. Gaddafi used to be part of the Arab Gulf. I think he was still even part of the Arab Gulf. But because they don't agree with him, because of his religious stance, I swear to God, the moment you are with these mushriks and they know your stance, that this guy doesn't agree with Sunnah, that is your end. Wallahi. The sectarians, they value the issue of religion more than even political issue. Yes, I'm not joking with you. So terminating Gaddafi is not about politics. It goes way beyond politics. because they had an underground hatred for this man. Yes. I have a lot of parchment of documentaries I can join. I just want us to focus on his own speech, on the things he says against what the scholar was saying against him. Yes, I don't want the other side to be more based on political issues. But I can tell you, this man was terminated because they hated him because of his religious views. Wallahi.
شو يضرني إذا كان هذا قبر فاطمة وهذا قبر عائشة وهذا قبر عثمان وهذا عمر وهذا
هو اعترف بأنه يقول لا حاجة للسنة.
Then the scholar goes ahead to say, Gaddafi admits that he says there is no need of Sunnah. Yes, there's no need. We don't need the garbage books. The garbage books you, the Sunnis, are attributing to the Prophet, saying the Sunnah, that he married a CCSO girl. He slept with 9 women in one night. He fondles his wife when they are on their period. He slept with his concubine on one of his wife's beds, and so on. These are nonsense. You, the mushriks, you are insulting the Prophet. But out of your foolishness, you don't perceive. And Gaddafi said the Quran is enough. Why will this man go ahead to tell you, take verses out of the Quran? No, Gaddafi never said that. His enemies were the ones attributing that statement to him. He said the Quran is enough because God says the Quran is enough. He believes the Quran is from God. But the mushriks, because they hated him, they have to pass on a documentary of narrations and lie. Look, recently when I went to Ghana, I was in Ghana 7 months ago. I sat down with some of my people, and they were telling me in my eyes, some people were saying to me that somebody said that I hate the Prophet or I insult the prophets. And I said, what? This is me sitting here. You said, somebody said I insulted the Prophet, and you believe? So I asked them, where is the video? Please bring me the video where Baba Shu, I insulted the Prophet. Guess what? Nobody can bring me such a video because it doesn't exist. So that, do you see the narrative which was passed on there? That is exactly what they did to Gaddafi. By brainwashing the Arab Gulf to make them think Gaddafi is a kafir. Gaddafi has been saying this, has been saying that, has been doing this, has been doing, so that by the time you get to hear from the horse's own mouth, you have already hated him. That is exactly what my people did to me in Ghana. So by the time you want to explain yourself, nobody wants to hear. They are like, no, we know this guy is a kafir. Don't listen to him. He's a kafir. Don't listen to him. Now, kid costume is a fact. There is no leader in this world who doesn't have enemies. Obviously, you have enemies wherever you go. Egypt has refused the entry of resilience caravan heading into Gaza. Yes, they will, because it's a propaganda. Oh my God. Yes, Umar Tatawur, that's a fact. It is a fact. The moment you start telling your family members to follow the book of God alone, that is when they start cutting all ties with you. Let's continue.
فقلنا له نحن الثلاثة والأربعة.
So we, a group of 3 or 4, said to him,
كيف نعرف أن الصلاة الظهر؟
Asking him, how do we know Dhuhr prayer is 4 rakat? The typical Sunni type of questions. How do we know this is 4 rakat? Because even your hadith, it doesn't say 4 rakat when the Prophet went to bring the salats. Sahih al-Bukhari 349, when he went to bring the 50 salats, which was reduced to 5. When you read Sahih al-Bukhari 350, it says Nana Aisha said the salat was 2 raka'at, meaning 10 raka'at. So according to your hadith, how did it become 4? 2-4-4-3-4, like a football formation. How did he change? Because I thought the God of Hadith says his words does not change. That is what the God of the Hadith book said. Sahih al-Bukhari 349. How did the words change? From 10 rakat, it became what? 17 rakaat. How did he change? Football formation? 2-4-4-3-4? This God of Hadith, I don't understand his mathematics self. So now they were asking Gaddafi this typical question. How do we know Dhuhr Salat is 4 raka'at? First of all, where is raka'at in the Quran? And where is Zuhur? Where does it say Salat is Zuhur in the Quran? You mushriks made up a different religion, concocting nonsense. Allah mushrikanga.
أربع والعصر أربع والمغرب ثلاث.
And then they will go ahead. How do you know Maghrib is 3? How do you know Asr is 4? How do you know? Hey, Allah mushriks, you think you have argument? You wait and meet Baba Shu. You see.
والعشاء أربع والفجر اثنتان. كيف نعرف ذلك؟ إذا.
Then they said, then how will we know this if we did not operate by the Sunnah? You see the madness of these bozos. They use the Hadith to override the Quran always. But then out of their hypocrisy, you watch the Sunnis. Oh, mashallah, the book of God, Quran, is the best book in the world. Mashallah, there's no book like this book. There's no book like the Quran. But yet, you want to use garbage books to override the book of God? Are you not hypocrites? Mushrikun. Sunnis. Sunnis. Guys, thank you for the gift. I appreciate that. Creed of Abraham, thank you. Yes, keep on tapping. We have over 100 people watching so far. On Facebook, YouTube, we have over 150 people watching so far. So keep on tapping so that the algorithms can push it up for people to join. Right? Thank you.
لم نعمل بالسنة. القرآن لم يذكر هذا التقسيم.
Then this scholar went ahead to say the Quran did not state this breakdown. According to them, the Quran is not complete. But when you talk to a mushrik, Akhi, no, the Quran is complete, mashallah. Quran is complete in which sense? Because if you are telling me the breakdown of Zuhur, Asr, and so on is not in the Quran, still the Quran is not complete because God says the religion is complete. And you are saying we don't find these garbage statements in the Quran, which means the Quran is not complete. Hey, mushrikanga.
وجد نفسه حائرا لا يجد جواب.
This is what the scholars will do. Always, they will go ahead to say he found himself perplexed, unable to find an answer. Because to them, if you don't answer the way they want the answer to go, then they will say you didn't find an answer. Because they want your statements to come from a different source. The moment you don't say statements from their sources, to them, you haven't answered. Because this is how they have been programmed. The scholars go ahead to say he was not qualified to answer. They said he was not qualified to answer. What is the qualification to answer? By following your garbage books. That is the qualification. That's how you can answer. Because the answer has to come from your garbage books. And he says, but self-conceit and arrogance. This is what they do. They will classify you as arrogant because you still don't agree with the garbage books of their scholars. So what they will start saying is you are arrogant. This is how all Sunnis have been programmed, to tell you you are arrogant. Because what you are saying doesn't conform with what their scholars are telling you. Then they go ahead for the zakat. How do you know the threshold for the camels? Just like they are 2.5%. You see how they are using the hadith to override the Quran. This is how sectarians have been programmed. All of them. You see these questions, it happened in 1981 when they passed the verdict on Gaddafi. But you see, these are the same questions mushriks are repeating to you today. Today.
نصاب الإبل والغنم والبقر والذهب والفضة إلى آخره. لما شاف أنه سوف يحرج قال الفاتحة. جلسنا معه يمكن ساعة ونص، لأنه كما قلت لكم عنه شخصيا لا نراه مسلما.
Then the scholar says, we do not see him as a Muslim. The scholar said they don't see Gaddafi as a Muslim. Yeah, thank you very much, Vince Bayan. They don't see Gaddafi as a Muslim. Now, do you understand why they consider him as an apostate, the murtad? According to the Sunnis, the mushriks, the moment you don't agree with their religion, you become an apostate. And according to them, they have to terminate you. Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. Write it down and check. They have to terminate you the moment you don't agree with them, their religion. And the moment you have to go out from their nonsense, they have to eliminate you. Another person is writing. He said, Gaddafi sponsored war in Africa. Do you have evidence? This is how you guys have been brainwashed in the head. Somebody who wanted to reunite Africa. He wanted to unite Africa. You, Allah, Africa, black man and Arab man, have been made to hate themselves. Yes, lioness of Somalia, that is a reality. They will attack you. According to God in the Quran, when a man does good deed, he will get the blessing of 10. Right? Quran chapter 60, verse 160. You get 10 rewards. It is the same for a woman. A woman will get the blessing of 10. A man does good deed is 10. A woman does good deed is 10. In that sense, that is the equality God is giving us, men and women. Right? But then when you go to the Arab world to tell them this, or the so-called Islamic world to tell them, let men and women be equal in terms of these things, they will say, no, you are a kafir. We have certain issues that can be apportioned separately, like the property, the inheritance. That can be done differently. That is fine. But when a woman is working, if she is doing the same job as a man, they should get the same salary. If they are doing the same job, it has to be the same salary. And you know, God is just. Yeah, salam, Sister Celine Monique. So let's go. And when the debate circulated once again, so they had a debate with him, right? An official statement was requested. I said to the committee, you decided previously that he is a non-Muslim. So if he has renewed his faith and repented, then let him carry out what the repentance necessitates. So now Gaddafi went ahead to speak against the Sunnis and the Shias. So he said, today it is said that Shia is Iran and the Sunnah is the Arabs. So now he's giving a speech. Let's listen. Gaddafi went ahead to say this is the greatest historical lie. It's a lie. Then he says the truth is as clear as day. Then he says, where did this interpretation, which are funny and sad at the same time, come from? So Gaddafi was questioning the narrative.
التفسيرات المضحكة المبكية لأصحابها. متى قامت
Then he says, since when was a Shiite state founded in Iran or anywhere beyond the Arab world? Since when?
دولة شيعية في إيران أو في أي مكان آخر خارج الوطن العربي. أول دولة شيعية في التاريخ هي.
Then he says the first Shiite state in history was the first Fatimid state in North Africa.
في شمال أفريقيا الدولة الفاطمية الأولى. أهل البيت هم.
Then he says the Prophet's family were given the divine right to be rulers and imams.
اللي لهم الحق الإلهي في الحكم والإمامة. هذا هو.
Then he says this is the root of the problem today.
أساس المشكلة وهذا هو اللي وقع اليوم. الآن.
Then he says from now on we will not accept anyone in the Arab world.
ما نقبلش من بعد اليوم أي واحد في الوطن العربي
who rules in the name of the religion and the Quran.
يحكم باسم القرآن أو باسم الدين أو يعمل
or who establishes a religious state.
الدولة دينية ما لم يكن من
unless he is a descendant of the Prophet's family.
أهل البيت وإلا يكون هو.
Otherwise he is not worthy of ruling. Because that means that person is going to corrupt everything. You understand? Because the Sunni Shia religions are based on historical lies. So if they come out to say they are going to rule, because if you have a, so for instance, Saudi is based on Sunni. When I say Shiite, I'm talking about the Shia. When I say Shiite, I'm not saying Shiite. Esfaraj says, lol, sounds like Baba is saying shit. Can't help myself. It's true. It sounds like I'm saying shit. It's shitty. Huh? Shitty. So here, what Gaddafi was saying is, when you take the Sunni religion, when you take the Shia religion, the Arab world has been divided into two like this. It's either Shia or Sunni. Each person claiming to be Islamic State is going to be ruling based on their sectarian point of view. They are not going to use the book of God for anything. They will be using other denominations, other sources to rule a nation. Just like today we see Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is ruling the nation. Of course, they are trying to trim out the hadith, but you can see they are not going to stick with the book of God. They are going to be using other sources also. Take any country claiming to be an Islamic country. There is no way they will use the book of God alone. They will all include their sectarian point of view. That is why when you look at Iran, because they have embedded the act of Shiism into their system, you can see we tag them as a Shia country. But Gaddafi was given a point. It is not that Shiism actually started in Iran. Gaddafi was saying it is something we started in the northern part of Africa. Do you see the point? But historical fact, we've been told a lie that it is Iran where it comes from. He knowing the history is telling you that is not the case. It is later on these things happened. So today, when you have any Islamic country, so-called Islamic state or nation, what they will do is they will use the act of religion by using their sectarian point of views to rule the nation. Nobody is going to use the book of God to rule the nation. So the statement Gaddafi was making was not to say, okay, using the Quran is wrong, but he made a collection of statements. So let me repeat the part. This is where he said what? So he says, from now on, we will not accept anyone in the Arab world. Listen to the statement careful. Don't take him out of context. Who rules in the name of the religion and the Quran? Listen carefully. In the religion and the Quran, he's giving you a list. Or who establishes a religious state. Or unless he is a descendant of the Prophet's family. Then he says, otherwise he is not worthy of ruling, because the division in that part is based on Sunnism and Shiism. So anybody who says he's going to rule on the religion is going to corrupt. There is no righteous way they are going to do the ruling. It will not work. Are you getting the point? Gaddafi was only making a statement to make you think that the only way, the truthful way of ruling the people will happen is from the Prophet family, because they are not belonging to any of the sects. No Prophet family is a Shia or is a Sunni. No Prophet family member is a Sunni. No Prophet family is a Shiite. Shiite again. I'm not saying shit like poo-poo, please. So please, let's go. Then he says he has neither the right nor legitimacy. He is pulling the rug out from under his own feet. Then Gaddafi says, may he fall to the lowest pit and go to hell. Then he goes ahead to talk about a country like Jordan. And he says, I'm astounded by a country like Jordan. How come it does not belong to Shiites? Descending from the Prophet family? Okay. It is conceivable for Jordan to support Muawiyah, Abu Sufyan, and Hind. It is inconceivable. So why does it consider itself Sunni? Then he says the new Fatimid state is ours. It is our history, our heritage. Then he says we created the first Fatimid state and we will create the second. Then he says this is our state and no one has the right to reject this. Then he says whoever rejects this is barking like a dog. Then he says this is our state which was founded on this land. It was founded by our forefathers. Gaddafi was speaking about heritage here. Listen carefully. Don't misunderstand what he is saying. He is speaking about heritage. Understand your heritage. Here. We have the right to rebuild it if we can. Then he says Cairo cannot escape its Fatimid destiny. Cairo is the city of Caliph al-Mu'izz. Cairo was founded by the Fatimids. It's if not for the Fatimids, there will be no Cairo or Egypt. What was Egypt before the Fatimids? It was Alexandria and the pyramids. It was the Fatimids who chose Egypt, the heart of the nation. To be their capital, and so they built Cairo. Cairo is 100% Fatimid.
100%
Who can escape Cairo's Fatimid identity?
أن يهرب من فاطمية القاهرة. الأزهر.
What is the Al-Azhar? It is the mosque of Fatima al-Zahra.
ما هو الأزهر؟ هو فاطمة الزهراء. هو مسجد فاطمة الزهراء. كل من
None of those who graduate from Al-Azhar or who study there
وسيتخرج من الأزهر أو درس ويدرس في الأزهر لا
can change their identity. Remember, he is still speaking about heritage, about things that belong, to the heritage.
يستطيع أن يخرج من جلدته. الأزهر قلعة من قلعة.
Al-Azhar is one of the Fatimid strongholds.
الفاطمية.
If not for the Fatimids, there will be no Al-Azhar.
فاطميين ما في أزهر. ما معنى الأزهر؟
Al-Azhar means the mosque of Fatima al-Zahra.
معناها جامع فاطمة الزهراء. راجعوا كل.
Re-examine your culture and all your holidays. So you can see he's talking about heritage and culture. He's not talking about religion. He's talking about heritage and culture. Understand the difference. North Africa in its entirety is shit. So he's telling you the history of North Africa. They were sheets, not poo-poo, please. When I say sheets, I'm not insulting North Africa. If I say... Please, nobody should cut this part and say I'm insulting North Africa. North Africans are Shias. Shias, not...
The translative work of the Shaykh
So here, what this video, what Gaddafi was saying here shouldn't be taken out of context. He's not talking about religion. He's telling you the history of North Africa when people are thinking Shiism actually started in Iran. That is not the case. The history of Shiism is from the northern part of Africa. But Gaddafi here was talking about heritage, what belongs to them based on culture and heritage. Here it's not talking about religion. The point of taking this part of the video was just to pinpoint together, not to mean that Gaddafi was saying he's a Shia, nor was he saying he's a Sunni, nor was he claiming to be, you understand, any of the denominations. He's just speaking for the state and talking about their history. That is all. So sometimes people should understand the way a narrative is passed. When somebody is speaking on behalf of other people, it's different from speaking on behalf of yourself. If you're talking about yourself and you say, for instance, Baba Shu, I'm sitting here. If somebody has to speak on behalf of me, the person can say whatever he wants. Whilst when I speak on behalf of myself, I know what to say for myself. Do you see the difference? So nowhere in this video that we watched, we saw when the scholars were trying to differentiate Gaddafi by calling him a kafir. This video, again, we just watched, the one he was speaking is in black and white. It's an old video. It is an old video. Could be taken out of context. So MFG, you are trying to say Gaddafi was a Shia, was a Shia. He never said he's a Shia. He's talking about the heritage. Understand the difference there. When you are talking about the history of a nation, if he's a leader of a nation, he has to go through the history to know the heritage of his people. His personal belief as a religion is different. He was speaking in front of the masses. Different. Understand when a leader gives a speech. Then MFG says, I don't know how you think this is still Quran alone. Nobody said this is Quran alone. Nobody said the last part of the video Gaddafi was speaking about is Quran alone. Don't misconstrue what Gaddafi was saying in that video. Gaddafi is a leader of a nation. He has to trace the history, the heritage of these people to show them what belongs to them and what doesn't belong to them. You understand? You said, brother, he wanted to revive the real Shia dynasty, as he was saying he is from the descendants of Muhammad. Yes, it's good to trace your roots. What has that got to do with religion in the first place? Look, people need to understand how heritage works. When I sit here and I say I'm part of the children of Israel, that is my heritage. Then we have the notion of religion. You qualifying yourself as children of Israel doesn't automatically mean you are guided or you have salvation. Understand the difference between heritage and religion, right? Understand that. Shorilini says, I think at this point he was talking from his African Union view. He was advocating for an African Union heavily. Yes, he was at the same time. Fun fact, Jordan's king is supposedly also from Muhammad's family. What a disappointment. Yes. The Arabic is clear, so is the text very clear. He says he's saying that Sunnis are bad. They are the real leaders. He is the people of the house. Yes, he's tracing the heritage. You have to trace your lineage. You have to know where you're coming from. So if he says the Sunnis are bad, were there not the Sunni scholars who were trying to question him? The video I played entirely, was it not the Sunni scholars who were interrogating him? You see? God made us different races and nations. Nothing wrong with that. Yes. Muhammad says, why is Jordan Sunni? They should be Shia. Yes, he's telling you because they are claiming to be what? Something other than what they are known to be. He's speaking for Jordan. He's MFG, I think you are misunderstanding this point of this video here. This video, Gaddafi made it clear. He was speaking about culture and heritage. Gaddafi didn't make any mention of the word religion, deen, in that video I just played. The last part. Now, he didn't say he started in Egypt. He said he started in the northern part of Africa. That's what he says, northern Africa, entirely. That's what he says before he spoke about the Cairo. Then he says Cairo, the Azhar, belongs to the Fatimid Al-Zahra. That's what he said. But he said the north entirely was dominated by the Shiites. That's what he said. Yes, thank you, MJ Palmer. Yes. Guys, the idea of the video was just to show you the stance people had against Gaddafi when he was advocating for the Quran alone, how the scholars took a stand against him. Number one, that is the idea of the video. Number two, let's try to understand the differentiation between what culture is about and what religion is about. What culture is about and what religion is about. Culture always deals with heritage. That is why today the fight between Palestine and Israel is based on land, the people and their land. But people have changed it into a religious fight. It is not a religious fight. Get it right. The fight between Palestine and Israel, that is the Israeli state, is not a religious fight. People happen to make it a religious fight. It was not based on religion. It was based on somebody coming to your land, trying to overpower you to take your land. That is what it's based on. It's a political fight. People now shifted it to the agenda of religion, to make it in the name of religion, as if the Israelis are fighting against Muslims. That is how it is meant to sound now. Now, when we listen to a discussion or a monologue or a dialogue, when you don't try to understand the perspective in which a person speaks, and you try to take a person's word from this angle to another angle, it causes confusion. I was watching Piers Morgan recently, and he was talking about the Israeli-Palestine fight. Then he kept using the word, the Palestinians are killing the Jews. Then the guy kept correcting him, telling him, stop saying the Jews. The Palestinians are fighting the Israelis. That is the correct statement to say. Because when you say Palestinians are killing the Jews, you are making it a religious fight. Judaism is a religion on its own. It's a cult. It's a creed. So when you say Palestinians are killing the Jews, that is a religious fight. But why is it that when we are talking about the Israelis killing the Palestinians, why don't they mention that the Israelis are killing the Muslims? Why don't they use that phrase? Israelis are killing the Muslims. Do they use that statement? No. They use the words Israelis are killing the Palestinians. That is the correct way to understand the perspective. So when you are dealing with a religious issue, try to separate religious matters away from the heritage or your culture. The last part of the video I played, Gaddafi was separating the notion of letting people understand their heritage, first of all. Because in the Arabic language, when you say the word Shia, it doesn't necessitate it means another sect. It's a community. The word Shia in the Quran has been used multiple times. It can mean community. Are you getting the point? So when Gaddafi was speaking about the history of the Arabs from the northern part of Africa, their heritage, look, if you don't know your history, you will be manipulated every time. If you don't know your history. Look, when the scholars sat Gaddafi down, had Gaddafi in the video said, I'm a Sunni, then we can say, oh, this guy was a Sunni. The scholars got him. He's a Sunni. But you can see clearly from the video, there's nothing that shows that he was in support of what the scholars were deciding against him. Neither did Gaddafi came out to say, oh, I'm a Quran alone. I'm just showing his point of view based on his beliefs and the ideas he represents and he stands for. Based on that, he created enemies for himself. They will hate you. And it's evidential. They hated the man. So they have to pass on false narratives about the man. Gaddafi stood for Africa. Gaddafi wanted to make Africa great. The Arab League let him down. So he focused his attention to Africa. Even in this statement, you can see the last statement, he was focusing his strength on Africa. Because Africa needs to know his heritage, its culture, so that you know where you're coming from and what you represent. So Gaddafi was speaking for the people. But when I played the video concerning the scholars, it was a personal issue for him. He was speaking against the scholars personally, based on him, not for his people. Do you get the difference? Yes. So the idea of the video was to show you the stance that even strong leaders, a strong leader can be fought with. Scholars can fight with him just because of his religious views. You get the point? Imagine Gaddafi being that strong of a man and being forced by the scholars, being even takfir by the scholars. It shows you, you and I, we have a big job to do. I'm serious. We have a big job to do. Yes. A powerful man like Gaddafi. Do you see how the scholars are cornering him? We have a big job to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to bring this video to an end. It's 3 hours, and that is enough. I'm going to TikTok to continue on my part. Kindly join me on TikTok. I don't want this video to be long. Gaddafi made a lot of sense, wallahi, but it is like some good food that fell on the floor. That is a fact. Sharif Karim says, this is what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. Exactly. That is the point. Right? Sister Jehan says, great topic today. Well done. Thank you very much. Gaddafi had a big heart, but he seemed clueless about the enemy. Yes, that is a fact. Because he's alone. This fight he was fighting against them, he was alone. So you can see Gaddafi really, really, really hated the Sunnis. To be honest, Gaddafi really, really, really hated the Sunnis because they hated him also. So he hated the Sunnis. He has to do whatever he can. The Sunnis were the enemies. So Gaddafi was doing whatever he can to get on their neck. Yes. To be honest. So the Sunnis were the enemies of Gaddafi at that time. This is why Quran alone followers. Let me tell you how it works. Quran alone followers, the Sunnis are quick to classify you as a Shia a Shiite, somebody who is a Shia. Have you noticed that? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Quran alone follower who follows the Quran for guidance, have you noticed that the Sunnis are quick to ascribe you to Shiism? To say, oh, I think you are a Shiite. You've joined the Shias. The Shiite. The Shiite. Not the shit like poo-poo. The Sunnis will say you are a Shiite. Guys, thank you very much. I need to go to TikTok now. Thank you, Sister Ram. S. Faraj, God bless you too. Bless you all of. Thank you. Abdul Samad, thank you very much. God bless you. You can do this is they will. Hey, you can do this. No, they don't have that power. Don't forget them. You can only cover the truth for so long. It will be brought out by someone no matter what. That is a fact. Thank you very much, Baba Shu. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. Rule number 1 of engagement, know thy enemy. It is important to know your enemy. If you know your enemy, you know the footsteps the enemy is taking against you, right? So as Faraj, thank you. Yes, Gaddafi underestimated his enemies. Yes, he did. That is why they connived with the Americans to deal with him, right? The Sunnis. Because the Americans, whenever they want to do something in the Middle Eastern zone, they use the Sunnis. They partner with the Sunnis. The Mujahideens and so on, the Salafiyya, the Wahhabiyya, always America partners with them to do anything in the Middle East. Go and check your history books and find out if you think I'm lying. Whatever America wants to do anything in the Middle Eastern zone against any, they partner with the Sunnis. Yes. To do anything they want to do against anybody in the Middle Eastern zone. So El Shitos is not like shit, like poop. Like no, obviously, you can't take them seriously. I really wish you would just continue here. TikTok is says, I know, but the point is, I don't want my videos on YouTube to be very long. I don't like that idea. Right, that is the point. I wish I could continue on TikTok, on YouTube, but yes, it's exhausting for a lot of people to be watching long hours. And and besides, because of the YouTube, when people watch, because of the advertisement playing in between, it's kind of boring for people when it's too much, when it's too long. So that was some of the reasons. Yes. Thanks very much, Sharif Karim. Thanks. A little closer every day. Thank you, Baba. Thank you very much. Gaddafi needed help. Yes, he needed a support. He needed another powerful agent who can support him against the Sunnis at that time, right? So, yes, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, hey, salam to you, Liman Imran and Aganka. God bless you, my brother. Against Quran alone people. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, salam, Isa Shamu from Kintampo. Salam to you, my brother. Greetings to you. Yeah. Yes, thank you very much. Mohammed Khalid. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. God bless you. Guys, I'm going to TikTok now, so kindly join me. If you can join on TikTok, you're welcome, right? I know some people cannot go to TikTok for some unknown reasons, but if you want to join TikTok, I'll just be there for some few hours before I go to bed. I have like 2 hours to leave. So kindly join me. If you have any questions or something to say, kindly join me on TikTok, then you're welcome. Precious, thank you for the gift on TikTok. Thank you. The Poacher, I see you. You're all welcome. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, this is where I bring the topic to an end. Hopefully we meet again on Saturday, maybe. My kids want me to take them out, but let's see what happens. I might have time in between to come on Saturday, just the bonus session. Thank you all those who participated, all of you, MFG, Shurulini, Zach Sparrow, Khan, JS, Quran Alone is Truth, Abdul Samad, all of you, S. Faraj, Liman Imrana, thank you. I appreciate your support. God bless you all. Till we meet again, hopefully next week. So catch me on TikTok. Always give them a reason to remember your name. The correctional officer.